Alright, hello everybody, it's me, Clock, and we're playing the Kid at the Back, version 2.3 update. Yes, it's not a new day, but there's going to be a bunch of new, dialogue and scenes for Crowe, and, I think some new CGs. This is not the NSFW version. The creator has made it clear they don't want anyone playing that, to stream or put on YouTube. So this is just the safer work version for free. You can check out in the link below. I'll provide a link to the game if you want to purchase the NSFW and play for yourself. Okay? Without a doubt, or without ado, let's start. Notice the game's in development. This is only day 1 and 2. This game includes explicit and dark themes such as death, murder, sexual assault, implied abuse, sexual themes, may be sensitive to some audiences. You may see the full list of warnings here on the game's main menu. Okay, we do agreed. Yes. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know, by the name of Annabelle Lee. Day 1, the Beloved. In class dismissed, by our next meeting, I need a full report on everyone's poem that they have chosen. They haven't chosen. I will not accept one paragraph. I need 2 whole pages filled with words. Everyone got that? The classroom broke into a series of, "Yes, Professor," while some spared no time in packing their things, eager to be dismissed and disregarding the teacher altogether. Your literature teacher packs up her own things and exits the classroom. The moment your literature teacher left, the classroom broke into small groups as each student gathered up to meet with their respective cliques. Meowdy, ghost. Some engaged in conversation while some spared no time in exiting the classroom. A yawn escaped your lips. You turned your head and observed the clouds outside. The clouds are shaded in dark gray. The sky's once blue color is now turning the same lighter shade of gray. The looming threat of rain made you click your tongue in irritation. Just my luck. I didn't bother to bring an umbrella, too. Standing up from your seat, you were about to grab your bag when you felt a tap on your shoulder. Did they make you prettier since the last time I saw you? Damn. Turning around, you came face to face with cobalt blue eyes. Her blonde hair shaped like swirls with its ends dyed in blue and pink, complementing her entire ensemble, even if it's just a white bun-up that clearly looks too small for her. Clearly! I'm looking respectfully. Hot pink jacket tied around her waist and the school's black skirt, hiked up. Her hand, which you assumed was the same one that tapped your shoulder, hung up in the air. She seemed unsure whether to continue or not, judging from the way her eyebrows furrowed downward while biting her glossed lower lip. She turned slightly, her head not fixed on you, but rather on whoever is behind her. You hear her whispering something under her breath before eventually composing herself and turning her focus solely on you now. Hey, you going to lunch with us, or you're going to lunch with us, right? I mean, you should. I don't usually see you in the cafeteria often, so you must not be eating properly. How can you keep up with classes looking like that? Excuse me. Excuse me! You took a step back, clenching the strap of your bag as you glare at the blonde woman before you. Who was this woman? Who does she think she is? Wait, weren't we friends with her in the original version? Judging from the woman's expression, she finally came to realize the words that came out of her mouth. Brittany! A familiar voice interrupted the two of you. You turned your head to where the voice was, and there stood none other than your old friend. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. That's really insensitive of you. Imagine if someone else told you about how you look. His familiar orbs are of azure blue, nearly replicating lapis lazuli, and his chocolate brown hair tied loosely in a low braid. Sun-kissed skin enhanced his handsome features, adorned with a black, long-sleeved button-up and an indigo vest to add to his clean look. He is known as Jericho Ichabod, Crowe for short, the class representative and a close friend of yours. Well, the only close friend you have. Femboy alert! Crowe made his way to your side, with a hand on his hip. He reprimands the blonde-haired woman next to you, and the said woman just shrugged her shoulders. placed a hand over your beating heart. The close proximity between you two caused a blush to appear on your cheeks. No matter how many times you get close to him or him getting near you, you'll never get used to it. His whole aura just gives a warm feeling in you. The butterflies in your stomach thrashing and raging, begging to be released. Yeah, you may have a bit of a crush on him. Really? The woman named Brittany just rolled her eyes, seemingly used to Crowe's reprimands. Well, you're the one who insisted on me initiating talk. You could have done it more nicely, you know. Like a simple invite alone. Crowe gives you a small smile while handing out something to you. You look down to see it. It was your ID. You dropped this, by the way. Your name is... Okay, it's Clock. Your last name is, Works. The ID shows my name, ClockWorks, along with my pronouns. It's a he, himmer. You stare at your own ID picture and see yourself more. I'm pretty masculine. Yeah, I'm pretty tough. Yeah. I'm gonna save here. Is this the save? Please save me. This is save. Yes. Okay. Turn. You use masculine terms, and you will be called a boy/man. You looked at your ID picture, seeing a young man and reading your name with your eyes. Yeah, this is a yaoi, by the way. Now I've made it a yaoi. ClockWorks. Pronouns he, him. Maybe my eyes are itching. Yes, that's it. Your fingers briefly brushed against his. You bit your lip, then muttered a small thank you before pocketing your school ID. Crowe gives you a close-eyed smile, returning with his own thank you, then turns his attention back towards Brittany. Following up behind Brittany are three more people. The tallest of the three is a sporty-looking man, clad in a green and yellow jersey with the number 10 settled in front. His eyes are a bright green, the color that kind of reminds you of green apples. His skin a beautiful brown that nearly matches his curly hair, while his stubble is nestled on his chin, indicating his maturity. His maturity indicating his maturity before he shit himself in front of me. God damn it, chat. The second tallest, oh my, is he wearing fishnets? Hot. The second tallest is a man in a purple hoodie. His eyes are sharp and slanted with long lashes, adorned with teal-colored orbs underneath. His hair straightened, styled into a hime cut, save for a short strand tied with a red ribbon, and a low ponytail bound with the same shade of red behind him. He looks uninterested with what is going on around at the very moment. And the last, but not the least, is the shortest of the three, maybe within the group as well. Her skin pale, her face dotted with few freckles then and there, as rectangular shapes framed shield wave orange orbs. Her hair is short and loose like waves. She wears a black button-up under her orange vest and a black skirt matching Brittany's. I'm not sure if the art got touched up for these characters too. I don't know. It's been a long time since I played the game, but it does feel like it looks nicer. I don't know. Maybe not. Crit must go on. Yeah, this is the second stream today. Damn, Britt, you sure are bad at socializing. Hey, Geo, seems like you have competition. The tall jock clad in a yellow and green sports jersey lets out a loud laugh, ha ha, causing some students to turn to look at him. Brittany's face grew red from embarrassment. Gritting her teeth, she crossed her arms while tapping her foot to the ground. This only made the jock laugh even harder. Yeah, he doesn't like British people. That's what it was. Shut the fuck up, Daryl. You're causing a scene. Also, if you were me, you would have done just as badly. That is in fact not true. I'm a lovable guy. Oh yeah? As the two argue, you turn your head towards the other tall male in a hoodie. Sensing your gaze, he looks down at you, his hand still in his hoodie's pocket. Sorry. With Riz. Skibbity. Sudden chill went down your spine. Oh, it didn't work. Damn. You quickly averted your gaze away from the imposing male and landing on the meek girl in orange right beside Brittany. She hasn't spoken since she arrived with the two males, but judging from how attached she is to Brittany, you're guessing she's closer with her than the rest of the group. She kind of reminds you of yourself when you were still new to the school with no one to talk to. Not until Crowe befriended you, of course. Were you as clingy to Crowe back then as she is with Brittany now? Sorry. They're kind of a rowdy bunch, huh? I hope you're not too overwhelmed. They sure are. Something. Look, Clock, you're still free not to join us for lunch if you're uncomfortable. Meeting new people is overwhelming. I just want to let you know that I respect your feelings and that you matter, Clock. Crowe reassures you with a worried smile on his lips. You turn back to the group, the tall jock named Daryl now bothering Geo with an arm around his shoulder. The visible irritation on Geo's face did nothing to sway Daryl's happy-go-lucky personality. Oh, they're in love with each other, for sure. Brittany leans on one of the desks with her arms crossed, striking a conversation with the bespectacled girl next to her. What's her name? I didn't seem to catch it last time. Crowe glanced at where you were pointing at. Ah, Jessie. You can call her Jess for short. She's best friends with Brittany. She kind of reminds me of you back when we first met. All shy and quiet. Only that you're cuter. Crowe pinches your cheek playfully and you groan. Ugh. But your mock annoyance is betrayed by the small smile that formed on your lips. How time flies, huh? That's right. You got yourself acquainted with Crowe in your sophomore year. Before you left for the city, your father emphasized the importance of having companions and establishing friendships, most especially in this college. Olympias University, the largest university in Titan City. Excuse me? Do I live in Greece? It is known for having the best facilities and the best education, where you're guaranteed to rise from the bottom to the top. Well, that's what the advertisement tells you. You tried getting to know people during your first year, but to no avail. No matter how much you try to make friends, you just couldn't seem to bring yourself to talk to anyone. And to your dismay, no one seems to bother to even befriend you. Sure, you would talk with a few classmates for projects, but nothing goes beyond that. As if they're scared of you. Or more like, disgusted? You can never tell. The looks you've received have all been mixed signals. Some bad, some out of pity. That is, until Crowe came into the picture. Among everyone, Crowe was the sole person who approached you with the intention of friendship. The only person who didn't try to fuck me. You were wary of him at first. Why would someone want to befriend you out of nowhere? Your past experiences caused you suspicion. You've had a history with people who tried to earn your good graces because you were somehow beneficial to them. You thought Crowe would be the same case, so you ignored him. But then he kept following you, trying to strike a conversation with you every now and then. You tried to dismiss him, ignoring his presence as usual, but Crowe was determined to break down your walls and keep insisting on tagging along until it annoyed you once. Just once. That is, until it happened on the last day of your first semester in your sophomore year. You fell victim to one of the school's biggest hidden flaws. If Crowe wasn't there to stop them, you could not begin to imagine what might have happened to you. Hey, yo? New? Okay. Wow, he looks really good there. Thank goodness you're unharmed. You're concerned about me? How about you? You're the one who's hurt. Thinking back, you thought he was crazy and stupid. Don't worry about that. Taking blow after blow until the perpetrators got bored and left the both of you. Bro didn't even fight back! He's just a shield! Bro, you're like that guy from Dr. Stone. Oh my god. Well, that's the whole point, right? As long as you're not hurt, this is nothing. You're crazy, you know that? And he just laughs it off, wincing due to the bruises on his face. I never got your name, you crazy person. It's Jericho. Jericho Ichabod. But just call me Crowe. Nice to meet you, Crowe. I'm Clock. You brought him to the clinic that day and became inseparable ever since. Right after that incident, Crowe promised to never get in fights again and continues to keep his word on it. He's not dressed like a Mormon. You ever seen a Mormon? Excuse me? You think a Mormon would wear a purple vest? Brother, you're insane. You really owe it to him. Nah. You think a Mormon walks around with a purple vest and purple pants? Pfft. That's a joke. They do not. You look back up at Crowe. He tilts his head. But the women, for some reason, have the best sundresses. I won't lie. But the men, bro, the men just wear the most silly fucking suits I've ever seen. Okay? And by silly, I mean they're just wearing black suits in the middle of the sun. And maybe a gray one. Okay? There's something on your mind, Clock. Nothing. Just happy that you're my friend. He blinked. He looked at you with raised eyebrows. No shade to Mormons, by the way, okay? I don't really care. He looked at you with raised eyebrows, probably surprised at how random your thoughts seem. He didn't say anything, as he let your words sink in. Although, I'm pretty sure a lot of Mormons tend to be pretty homophobic. I'm not sure. Every Mormon I've seen... they don't like the fruity. Although, I believe in recent years, they're more accepting of that, because they need more members. He didn't say anything as he let your words sink in, and his usual gentle smile appeared on his face. Crowe inched closer to you, indicating that he feels the same way. Nice. Brittany must have taken notice of the amount of time wasted in talking and arguing as she turns to you one last time. We've talked a little bit too much. We'll end up not getting any seats if we keep this up. So, are you coming with us or not? Caught up in your little daydream about the past, Brittany finally spoke up, catching your attention. He looked back at Crowe, recalling his words. Don't force yourself to join if you're still uncomfortable. He then decided to... So this is probably the big divergence. I'm gonna go somewhere else, because I did have a small spoiler that there's a new CG somewhere else. But I did save, right? I did save here? Yes. Okay, yes. Perfect. Go somewhere else. You glance at the blonde-haired woman as she waits for your answer. You turn to Crowe. He, too, was anticipating an answer from you as a nervous drop of sweat rolled down his temple. You've got to be honest. Crowe was right. All of this is still quite overwhelming to you. Throughout your years here, you've only gotten used to Crowe's presence and his alone. But then yesterday, he introduced you to his new group of friends you didn't know he had. You're happy for him, you really are, but why does it feel like a lie whenever you tell yourself that? Why does your heart swell and your stomach churn from the thought of him not being by your side all the time? The horrible feeling of green envy and raging jealousy consumes you ever since the thought came across your mind. Excuse me, am I the one obsessed? Excuse me? Yo, can I get a sip? A hydrate check, if you will. A sudden lump made its way to your throat, hindering you from forming words as you can feel your eyes threatening to water while your shoulders started trembling. You need to get out of here. I need to go. Clock. You ignored him and the group as you push him away, earning a shocked look on both Brittany and Crowe's face. Clock, wait! Damn, I didn't think Brittany would make someone cry by being so bad at communication. For fuck's sake, Daryl, shut up. I didn't mean it, okay? What? I'm right, aren't I? I'm going after him. Huh? Ichabod. Crowe didn't listen to his friends calling out his name, especially Geo as he ran after Clock, rushing out of the room hoping to catch up to him. You shoved through the sea of students, receiving some irritated looks after pushing them aside. Their looks don't matter to you, however, as you try to get out of the crowd as quickly as possible. Clock, wait! Crowe's booming voice behind you isn't helping your rising anxiety and your tears now slowly cascading down your cheeks. Clock, please wait! What's wrong? Stop! Crowe cries out with each breath he takes. You keep on ignoring him. Excuse me, I did not think going somewhere else would lead to me crying running in the halls. That is one of the strangest turn of events I've ever picked. You turn a corner, hoping to lose... I'm pretty sure the original, you just said, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Peace, homie. You turn a corner, hoping to lose Crowe in the crowd. The worried tone in his voice just makes the ache in your chest more and more painful. But I don't remember that well, so whatever. You did not care how many floors you ascended as you ran up from one floor to another, nearly tripping on the school's bad architecture. We're so down bad for Crowe in this one. Before you knew it, you made it to the school's rooftop. It feels like we're obsessive over him. Pressing an ear on the door, you don't hear Crowe's call anymore, and you let out the breath that you've been holding. And then everything slowly crashed down on you. You fell down on your knees and hugged them, not bothering with how dirty the floor is anymore. You look up as a few droplets of rain slowly drop down from the sky, a reflection of the salty tears now staining your cheeks. I'm so pathetic. Crowe's his own person. I feel so selfish to even think I'm his only friend like he is to me. Of course he can have other friends besides me. But why does it hurt? Is it because I'm just some nobody? All of them look so cool. Especially that Brittany girl. She's tall and pretty. Heck, I might mistake her for a model if it weren't for her uniform. She seems like Crowe's type. The familiar ugly feeling made its way to your chest. You tightly clenched your fist to where your aching heart is. You want to rip that out in the open and toss it from the edge of this building. Will he leave me if he deems me unworthy? Was I ever worthy to be beside him? You can't think anymore. Stop licking up the tears! You don't want to think anymore. The tears now flooding your eyes as your sniffles turn to sobs and you bury your face on your knees as you cry your heart out. The rain now heavy as if resonating with your sorrows. I'm not crying, by the way. I know that whole description said I was crying. It's just raining outside. Manliness. You have no idea how long you've been crying, but you've run out of tears to shed and have been staring at a blank space for a while now. That's just a metaphor for it stopped raining. I was crying while it rained. I just stood in the rain. Maybe it's time to head back. You look up at the dark skies, the rain slightly calmer, but still not stopping its downpour. Standing up and dusting your back, you were about to grab the handle when you heard another voice from the other side. Yeah, I tipped my hat down for sure on that one. Your heartbeat quickened. You swore you were alone when you got here, and you were blocking the door the entire time, so someone coming in would be near impossible. You're curious how this individual managed to get past you. Or maybe they were just here before you, who knows? Forgetting your initial plan, you slowly approached the voice, making sure not to make too much noise as possible. Excuse me, did they not hear me screaming and crying my eye? Of course they didn't hear me. Just as you suspected, there is someone. A young man in a green vest. Must be his uniform. Hair in the shade of light blue, like how they remind you of the skies before it darkened, tied into a low ponytail by a white ribbon. He seems to be in a deep conversation with whoever it was behind the phone he held to his ear. You can't quite hear the conversation he was having, much less understand what he's talking about. You assume he's speaking in a whole new different language. You step back. You're guessing the student is a foreigner. Seeing that he seems to pose no threat, you're about to leave when you felt a hand grab your shoulder. You stood frozen on your spot as you felt a huff of breath fan your neck. Something cold and sharp touched the side of your throat, and you were no fool to understand quickly that it was a small knife that he's threatening you with. Oh! That's also new. Don't mind me. Don't mind that. That's really good. I really like this one. I don't know if you guys remember, but my favorite character is Hugo, okay? This is my favorite character. Excuse me! I'm not dropping shit. Excuse you. Who are you? Speak. Unless you want to get yourself into big trouble. Oh, surrender. Just die. Just die in a hole. I'm going to surrender. Excuse me, Daniel! I'll let you say it. I'll let you say it this time. I'm gonna surrender. I'm gonna surrender to Daddy. I'm ClockWorks from Class 4B. Please don't kill me. You yelp out. The hand on your shoulder went loose as you feel him withdraw the knife. Taking it as a chance to push yourself off of him and turning around to face the blue-haired, knife-wielding student, you had the urge to throw a punch to his face. Instead, you didn't. Rather, what you came face to face with is a look of confusion across his face and a hand under his chin. He isn't even looking at you. How rude. ClockWorks. Why does that name sound so familiar? In Class 4B too. Now's your chance while he's distracted by his own thoughts. You pathetically threw a punch. Did you hear that? You pathetically threw a punch at him. He, however, merely catches your fist with a single palm, his other hand never leaving his chin as he keeps pondering over his thoughts. Kung Fu Master over here. Why did you even bother? You were never the strongest in your family. I remember now. You swore you saw a light bulb lit up on the top of his head. I literally taught boxing. like at the end of my high school, like early college, end of high school. I literally took boxing all of the end of high school and then taught it. Fuck you. I know how to throw a punch, okay? It's two things I'm confident in. I know how to throw a good punch, and I know how to cook a good meal, okay? And I know how to be an idiot. The third one's not so much. He lets go of your fist and pockets his tiny knife, which turned out to be a foldable pocket knife. It gives you a bright smile as if he didn't just threaten your life mere seconds ago. What impeccable timing you have at the moment, Clock. He puts his hands together like a prayer and bows down, double-taking his sudden shift in attitude. I'm in need of your help. You see, I can't attend my next class due to some familial emergency, and I promised my partner I'll be there. But seeing that you're in Class 4B, can you take over from me? What? Who does this guy think he is? Your next class is Art Appreciation with Mr. Allen, correct? How does he know your next class is Art Appreciation with Mr. Allen? Whoa, hold on. First of all, who the fuck are you? Second, why do you have a pocket knife within school campus? And third, why would I agree to your terms after you literally just threatened my life like that? As if realizing the situation, he lets out a gasp, his mouth shaping an O. Wink. He fixes his posture, then gives you a wink and a thumbs up. The name's Hugo. Hugo Sugimoto. I'm from Class 4A, but I often have classes mixed with Mr. Allen to catch up on my missing subjects from my past years. This guy is a clear troublemaker. He just rubs the back of his head and chuckles as he continues with your next question. Taking out the pocket knife, he dangles it like some toy and presents it to you like it's the most exquisite thing you've ever laid your eyes on. You rolled your eyes. This. He waves the pocket knife left and right. It's for self-defense. The guards are quite shitty at their jobs and inspecting each bag. Things as little as these are easy to slip by. Plus, it's quite useful if you're ever in a pickle. Where's your we're in school grounds. Just use scissors like any other normal human being. He puts his tool back in his pockets. And as for your last question, his expression relaxed, his goofy persona thrown out of the window as quick as it came, his tone now a bit serious with his gaze fixated on you. Do you have friends, Clock? Okay, that kind of offended you a little bit. Are you calling me out, bud? Yes, I do. Yeah, but don't you ever think you feel like you're not doing much for them? That made you shut your thoughts up. Not gonna lie, he's not really the best guy out there. He blabbers on with the thought of whoever his friend is, but judging from the way he talks, he seems to care for him. Admire him, even. But people tend to misunderstand him. Quite a lot. Heck, even I did. I thought I couldn't trust this guy with anything. Like how you don't trust Crowe with anything before. Sorry for threatening you with a knife, Clock. But what I'm saying is that, oftentimes I can never be there for him. I've given up on the thought of staying by his side. But you, however, there's a gleam in his eyes you couldn't seem to decipher. Maybe you'll understand him. Get to the point. Please, be his partner for your art class. And he's down on his knees like begging like a begging clown. The serious tone he had beforehand is now replaced with a blabbermouth crybaby before you. The clubussy. Seriously, he had you fooled there for a hot second. Okay, I'll be your friend's art class partner. Get the fuck up. You mean it? Thank you, Clock. I knew you were the right person. Just... Wait, how do I go back? His name... Just, who is this friend of yours, anyway? His name is Soul, don't worry. You won't miss him. Okay, sorry, I clicked. Without sparing you another second in trying to ask for more information from him, he gives you a friendly pat on the shoulder before leaning in, whispering. Wipe your tears away, Clock. Crying does not suit people like you. And with that, he's going down the stairs. You only stared at the now open door, your feet rooted on the cold tile floor from pure shock. Wait, he did see us crying our eyes out. What the fuck? And then he still held a knife to us. How does he know I was crying? Or maybe he just saw that my eyes are fucking, like, bright red. You're now walking down the hallway. A few students were heading to their own respective classes while some went to where the library was. Clock! One heart attack after the other, you swore this day refuses to give you a break. You aren't ready to face Crowe yet. He's probably worried sick, especially with what you pulled minutes ago. We should have went in for the kiss, true. You were probably lost in your thoughts for too long that you suddenly felt arms wrap around you. Crowe's face buried at the crook of your neck as he held you tight. His shoulders were shaking. There was no one else behind him. It was just you and him. I looked around the campus for you. Where have you been? You bit your lip, not giving him a chance to hear your voice. Crowe pulls away from your neck, but still kept his hold around you. You refused to look him straight in the eyes, and he didn't push you for it, already satisfied with you in his arms. A sigh escaped his lips. With one hand, he cups your cheek and rubs it with his thumb as he observes your red and swollen eyes. He bit his lower lip. A flash of regret made apparent within his eyes. Just then, behind the both of you, you heard a lone student call onto Crowe's name. You swore that Crowe's eyebrow arced and twitched as if irritated. There you are, Ichabod. Your presence is required by the council. I don't fucking care. What was that, Ichabod? I couldn't quite hear you. I'll be right there. Crowe says, his back still facing the student. The student merely raised a brow, but didn't insist any further, and walks away in the opposite direction. I do like this a lot. I do like Crowe a lot more now. He actually feels like a love interest now. Crowe lets out a tired sigh as he returns his full attention to you. Give me a text once you're ready to talk. Pulling away, albeit hesitantly, he rummages for something in his pockets before taking one of your hands and placing something in it. You just give me a pocket knife? Without turning your head, you look down and saw a handkerchief on your palm. I'll see you later, Clock. He turns on his heel and moves to the same direction where the student from before had headed. Once he was gone from your sight, you squeezed his handkerchief and used it to wipe your cheeks, despite the salty tears that dried at this point. Pocketing the blue handkerchief, you slowly made your way to your next class. Oh, okay then. La 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 la. Barely making it to your next class, you slid the classroom door open, earning you a few looks from the students inside the room. Turning to the podium, you exhaled a breath. You didn't realize you were holding when you were realizing that your teacher was still absent. Fixing your composure, you scanned the room. A few easels and shelves filled with brushes, and bottles stained with acrylic paint guaranteed that you made it to the right class. Upon scanning the room, you thought back to what the guy who threatened you with a knife on the rooftop promised you. I won't miss him, huh? Well, that's the hard part. Everyone here looks like they're hard to stop from how colorful they all look. Typical art students with their colorful hair and looks and the way they dress, never heeding to the school's strict rules since they're never really affected by said rules. The liberty of a course not strict to academics. But you also took notice of some students who aren't in the course. You're guessing that they took this subject as a minor subject. So either this sole character is an art student or some regular student. You gave up in your search and took your seat. In any case, you'll find out which one is sole once the class starts. Hearing the classroom door open, your art professor makes his way inside, his large round belly standing out, round spectacles sitting on top of his nose, and a stereotypical brown beret on his head. He greets the class before starting his lecture. Where's Soul? Chat wants Soul. Art exhibit project featuring various eras of art as part of our thesis. This time we're tasked with expressionism. Remember, this is all a part of your paper, and not to mention, making a name for yourself, of course. Oh ho 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 ho. Excuse me, are you on leave from the North Pole, sir? More like taking the credit of a student's work and using it to advertise your shitty school. You scoffed at the thought. Hope you all got a partner already by this time. For this term, I'm tasking you all to create 3 works based on the exhibit's themes. This is where you want to throw your desk out the window. How could you forget? You weren't present during the previous meeting and you absolutely knew no one in this specific class. Why were you taking art again? Oh right, your father was an artist as he was a farmer. It was all for him. Maybe you can make a name for yourself with your works if ever your life as a gardener wouldn't turn out the way it should. All part of Plan B, and if that fails, I've got Plan C and D. I have yet to make up the rest. I guess I'll die. That should just be Plan A. You shake away your silly thoughts. The problem is now at hand. You do not have a partner to work with. Now, I want all of you to go to your chosen partner for this project so I can start explaining your tasks. Eventually, you were forced out of your seat since your seatmate's partner will be occupying it for the class. Now's the perfect time to look for the sole person Hugo was talking about. But up until now, you have no idea what he looks like. You're hoping he's a good person to work with and wouldn't put all the workload on you. You shiver at the thought. You've had enough of these kinds of people in your life, especially during your entire college years. Unlike the rest of the class scurrying around to meet their partner, you're the only fool who was still standing. Note on the only one standing, because from the corner of the classroom, there's a single student not bothering to stand up from their seat. Their seatmate had left to pair with someone else, leaving a vacant spot. That guy might be Soul? Well, we'll find out soon enough. Is he not going to bother with his partner? Unless... Hey there! He looks up from his desk and then looks at your approaching form before you're eventually standing next to him. It's you. I'm honestly not... I don't remember the voice I gave him. I don't remember. Was it like... Seems like you're a bit lost there. Do you have a partner? No. Well, just your luck then. Me neither. Would you guys prefer, like tired voice? So, do you want to be partners? Like this, sure, why not? Would you prefer, like, something like tired? Or, sure, why not? Like, a little more, like, maybe, like, angry, like, kind of pissed. He took the vacant seat right beside him, his book now tucked away and on his desk, and is now a pen and a piece of paper, seemingly ready to take notes. Yeah, I never got to know your name. It's not quite important. Well, I should at least know what to call you instead of Green Street Guy. He raised a brow at your silly nickname you gave him before slightly shaking his head. Sullivan Brugmancia. But just call me Soul. Soul. I'll save, but I don't think it's that important, this. Soul means sun or brightness, right? Contradicts with your whole glam. What is he, a World of Warcraft character? His glamour? Bro's got the dog collar. Bark, 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 bark! Bark for me, bitch. Soul means sun or brightness, right? Soul nods, rubbing the back of his head. Water and stretches? Thank you, Cat Lily. That's my homie right there. You can say that. My mother gave me that name. It's a lovely name. It's pretty unique. Thanks. Well, I'm ClockWorks. Nice to finally know your name, Soul. Soul nods with a smile forming on his lips, then returning his attention back to the professor. Please don't shoot me. I noticed that he's wearing a key necklace. I should totally get the padlock necklace, shouldn't I, to match him. 3 artworks to showcase. Note it has been some form of expressionism. Mediums will be strictly traditional. The professor then proceeds to give other pointers for your project before leaving you and the rest of the class for the day. Everyone in the classroom proceeds to talk with their partners, already brainstorming ideas on what they're going to showcase. Hopefully could get a high grade. You turned to Soul as he took out his own charcoal pencil and his sketch pad for the class. You got any plans for our first display, Soul? Expressionism is about conveying one's feelings, right? The easiest for now is a portrait. Let's use your face as an example. My face? He lets out a low chuckle. There, you're making a cute expression right now. That can be considered as expressionism. Huh? Angry eyebrows. He seems like he already has an idea on what to do. And judging from that half-filled sketchbook of his, he's quite familiar with the concept of art. Me, however, looks at the smiley face circle. I'm not that good at art. We ain't lying today. I'm still quite a beginner. You got nothing to worry about. My usual partner isn't much of an artist either. Your usual partner? Oh yeah, I already have an assigned partner for this class. But he ditched me at the last minute for some important family business. He never tells me though. And I'm not the type to pry either. Does your... Brother! Ghost! Excuse me, don't... Does your friend go by the name Hugo, perhaps? Yeah. How did you know? Met him during lunch. He was on the rooftop. Typical of him. Sorry you got dragged into his mess of taking his place. You shook your head, telling him that you don't mind one bit. You observe him as he goes on and on about this friend of his. Despite him shaking his head in annoyance, You can see a lingering sense of endearment in his words. Don't question why he moaned after saying yeah, by the way. Almost forgetting the fact that the short shit threatened you with a knife back on the rooftop. But seeing Soul like that, it was actually cute. Slowly taking out your sketch pad, you begin to draw Soul's various expressions as he talks. Here I thought this guy would be the type to brood a lot. Guess I was wrong. What do you mean? He's sunny.
No.
God, I just... Would you believe me if I tell you that guy is one of the top students in the entire class, yet is always missing in action? You raised a brow in mild curiosity. Pencil still on the pad. Really now, he doesn't seem to be that type of guy. Which part? Him being a top student and are always missing in action. Shrugging, you continue on with your sketch. Soul, now taking notice of you scribbling on your sketch pad. Is it just gonna be a nut every time he talks, chat? Pause, proceeding to lean in a bit closer to your face, trying to pry the sketch pad off your hands. Were you drawing me this entire time? No? Liar. I thought I was supposed to be the one drawing you, not the other way around. With a huff, he leaned back on his chair, crossing his arms in the process as a pout made its way to his face. Biting the side of his cheek as his Biting the side of his cheek as his lip piercing reflects the room's artificial light. Excuse me, did you guys already use up all the nuts for the stream? Aw, come on. It's not that big of a deal, Soul. You tried to cheer him up. Plus, you look really cute. Soul's cheeks turned red. His eyes widened before swiftly averting his gaze from yours. The grip on his arm tightening, causing the sleeve of his shirt to wrinkle. I love the painted nails, bro. Oh, he's blushing! That's cute. You said something? Nothing. You sure mumble a lot. It's a habit. I'm not used to talking a lot. You keep talking about your friend Hugo. You seem to be so fond of him regardless. Soul lets out a sigh. Rubbing the back of his head at the thought. He knew you were right, and he knows he cannot deny that he is fond of his friend. His only friend. I owe him a lot, that's all. Enough about Hugo, though. Let's continue on with our task. Alright, alright. Wait. Wait. Damn it. I can't go back. What did it say? And I'm drawing, and that's final. Okay, thanks. We didn't miss anything. You pout! He merely chuckles. Alright, Grumpy. Couldn't help but hold your gaze on Soul's face, the bandage on his cheek most especially. Judging from how much it covered half of his face, you guessed it must have been a huge blow. You decided to question him. You fell down the stairs or something? What makes you say that? He pointed the bandage on his cheek with the back of the pencil. He bit his lower lip, lowering his head a bit, trying to cover the bandage with his hair. It's pretty big, bro. You can say that. Nothing for you to worry about, though. You're guessing he must be referring to the stairs heading towards the rooftop. Knowing those flight of stairs are quite unstable, there's a huge possibility he must have fallen pretty bad. He seems quite embarrassed by the thought alone. Though you couldn't help that there's more to the story than that. Or if he's actually telling the truth. It's pretty big, bro. It's pretty big, bro. Why are you guys saying it's pretty big, bro? Oh, because I said that? Yeah. It's pretty big, bro. What are you, a bottom? Either way, you don't want to make him uncomfortable. Turning your focus on your sketch pad, you continue on with your sketch. Hope it gets better soon. Thanks. The sound of the school bell rang loudly outside the classroom walls, signaling the end of the class. Your professor gives your class one last instruction before bidding his students goodbye. Soul tries to pry your sketch pen off of your hands, probably wanting to get rid of the sketches you made of him while he was on his tiny rant. However, you were quick on your feet and shoved your sketch pad in your bag before you could get his hands on it. We're like besties now. Soul gives you a pouty look before giving up eventually and starts packing his things as well, proceeding to head out of the classroom, waiting for you by the door. Do you have a phone? We should exchange numbers and update each other so we can do the next 2 more tasks. Soul then takes out his own phone and asks for your number. You recite it out as he inputted it on his phone. Let me try to send you a message. You nodded and looked at your phone screen and saw a new notification from an unknown number. This must be Soul's. Sup? No! No! They got rid of the Edgar Allan Poe profile picture! It's so Jover, chat. It's so Jover. He had Edgar Allan Poe. My bro was so sophisticated and cool and literate. Cultured, if you will. And now it's just a little pixel thing. You type so differently from how you look. Oh, I gotta click. From the corner of your eye, you see Soul's eyebrow raised at your text. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. He chuckled. He rolled his eyes. Your stare lingers on Soul's face. A smile is embedded on his handsome features while he looks at the block of text on his phone. You bite the bottom of your lip and recall the events that happened today. Formerly meeting Crowe's group, nearly getting a death sentence by meeting Hugo, and most especially, meeting Soul. Back then, you struggled to form friends throughout college that you were convinced you would be graduating without making a single connection, which would undoubtedly disappoint your father, and you were ready for it. You thought to yourself, these are odd people, eccentrics at most. All misunderstood people, all human, all the same. A sudden wave of determination washed over you. With that hand on your chest, you stare into Soul's orbs, making him tilt his head slightly. Soul, I want to be friends with you. I can sense that people tend to misunderstand you and your overall personality. You don't look like you're gonna shoot up a school. Okay, and then chat, not on me. Soul is quiet, but his gaze remains on you with a lingering curiosity. But let me be different. I want to know you. I want to understand you, Soul. If you let me. He blinked once, then twice, then a chuckle. He puts a large hand on top of your head, then ruffles your hair. Alright then, let's mark today as the start of our wonderful friendship, ClockWorks. You playfully pushed his hand off your head and nudged him on the shoulder. He let out a small laugh at your poor attempt. As to you too, Sullivan Brigmancia. Just Soul is fine, Clock. Well, I need to get going. See you tomorrow? Huh? Oh, of course. See you tomorrow, Clock. Giving Soul a wave of goodbye, you make your way towards the school's exit. My darling. My sweet, darling Clock. See you later, pumpkin. Ugh, shivers. Ugh. I do like darling. I say darling. That's my pet name for my partner. But pumpkin! The fuck? What, you gonna pumpkin me? Nah, that's weird. Don't call me pumpkin. I ain't no ginger. As you walk through the hallway, your eyes caught on something on the nearby bulletin board. A poster was plastered in the large board. Also, this is like new. A lot of the backgrounds, I didn't comment on it, but a lot of the backgrounds are new, I think, and like redone, and that's very nice. The Hallows Ball. Do you guys like that one? Do you guys like Pumpkin? Hey, Pumpkin. No. But I like, hey, darling. I like that one. Hey, darling. Darling. I like that one. It's good. Come enjoy the festive spirit of Hallows Eve. A Halloween party, huh? Seems promising. A sudden small vibration came from your pocket. Curious, you took out your phone, expecting another message from Soul. When he says it, yes. Well, I mean, no, I still don't get it, actually. It was from Crowe. Your heart leaped from your chest, recalling the events that happened earlier. That's like the equivalent of saying, like, it's just like, you're my buttercup. Hey, buttercup. It's just not, it just doesn't work. I don't like it. Clockpkin. Thank you, chat, for trying to make it work. Your heart leaped from your chest, recalling the events that happened earlier this afternoon. Oh, I like his. Can you meet me after class? I'll be at the front gate. You didn't send a reply. Wow. Turning off your phone, you quickly made haste to the exit. Stop my poor sweet southern heart. What do you mean? What, did you let this buttercup work for you? Nah, I don't like that one. Angel's okay, too. The hey, Angel. You approach the school's gate, keeping an eye out for your friend. I don't really like Baby, or Babe. Not a fan of those ones, personally. Sure enough, there stood Crowe in all his glory. Posture straight, with his arms held behind his back, his bag neatly placed on the floor, and his foot tapping on the concrete floor nervously. You yourself were growing nervous with each step you took as you drew closer and closer to him. Okay. Gardenia got their nut in. When you reached his side and made your presence known with a small greeting, you noticed the way Crowe's eyebrows raised in mild suspicion, as if not expecting you to actually show up before him. He cleared his throat before composing himself properly, his body now facing in your direction. You wanted to see me? Yes. Lifting his bag from the floor, he slings a strap over his shoulder and offers his hand for you to take. I'd like to take you somewhere. It's a bit near the park. I'll lead if you let me. Save, I guess. 2. Take his hand or take his arm? Wait, what's his more romantic? His hand? Take his arm. Yeah, his arm is like closer, I guess, right? Arm! We'll take his arm for this. You didn't take his outstretched hand, but rather boldly wrapped your arm around his, earning a look of surprise from his azure eyes. He did not question you on the matter, but a wide smile made its way to his features, while a slight blush dusted his cheeks. He holds onto your arm tight and leads the both of you away from the school grounds. By the time you and Crowe made it to the park, it was already sundown and stars slowly started painting the sky. Starry night, eh? Is this the place you were trying to lead me to, Crowe? Not quite yet. Come here. You follow him through a thicket of thick bushes, surprised to see stony stairs. Though a bit run down, it still seems sturdy to step foot on. Looking up, you see it leads somewhere above. You and Crowe make your way up the stony stairs, some red and orange leaves coloring the steps as you and him avoid a few puddles from the rain this morning. Oh, it's autumn? I fucking love walking in autumn, man. It's awesome. We're here. Come. It's a sight to behold. Taking one last step, you see Crowe admiring whatever was beyond him, his smile bright as his eyes twinkle like the stars above. Your eyes went wide in awe upon seeing the scenery before you, replicating the one Crowe has on his face. Not once did you take into consideration the idea of sightseeing within the city. Oh, if you live in some bigger cities, there's some amazing places to take a view. Everything felt unfamiliar, intimidating even. You couldn't blame yourself for feeling so distressed about the idea of traveling, especially since you had no one else within the city to guide you. But gazing at the sea of lights that stretched out before you made you realize that you have been missing much of what the city has to offer. Looking farther ahead, you take notice of a tall tower decorated with bright neon pink lights. A little bit to its right is a movie theater next to a mall. The rows of other buildings with multicolored lights seemed endless. The more you scan the area, the more you see unfamiliar places that you didn't know existed. Your moment of silence while admiring the city view was interrupted by the sound of rustling grass. You turn around, finding the source of the sound. Crowe has made himself comfortable, lying on the ground under an old tree. You see his backpack leaning on its trunk. I'll let you guys enjoy that. An elegant, pretty man. He is very elegant and pretty. I like his style. You turn your back from the city and walk to where Crowe lay, deciding to keep him company. Not on top of him! Oh. Oh god. His gaze on the starry sky shifts to you as you sit down beside him and a hopeful smile grows on his face. Hopefully Chatty doesn't check my pants. Judging from your face all lighting up, you like this place, huh? Care to join me? Accepting his invitation, you give Crowe a slight nod that brought joy to his eyes. You stretch a bit and lay on your back right next to him, your fingers barely touching. You and Crowe look at the night sky. You observe how the stars twinkle as if the rain from this morning never happened. How did you manage to find this place? You tilt your head to look at him and he gives you a close-eyed chuckle before his twinkling gaze meets yours. Daniel! Daniel! I know we're outside, but... Daniel, please! I take it that you've never heard of Lily's Myth, have you, Clock? Lily's Myth? It looks like he's a true gentleman, chat. He did not say anything. Crowe points up at the old tree that stood above you, then returns his gaze to the stars. They say that this tree that the humans came in contact with was blessed by the gods that guard this land. This very same tree here used to bear multiple fruits. They say that they never rot and are free for anyone to take. Or so what the popular interpretation says anyways. There are other versions of the myth? Crowe shrugs his shoulders. Moving his gaze from the sky back to the tree, he stares at it, as if trying to decipher something just by the mere look of it. There are other versions, yes. Some say the fruits are actually poisonous. Others say it's only meant for the gods, and no human must take from it, lest they be cursed. That sounds quite gruesome. It's no wonder they would rather use the lighter version of the myth. Crowe lets out a low chuckle at your statement, nodding a bit, as if agreeing with you. I guess that might be one of the reasons. Hey, Clock? He pauses before speaking again. You perk an eyebrow on him. Yeah? This seems like a silly question. No. Lay it on me. Oh, fuck, man. Tell me what it is. Do you believe in gods? This question caught you by surprise. You never thought of Crowe as the religious type. More so be interested in gods, or maybe he's just curious by the idea of them. This may be the best moment to know for sure. Kind of a weird one. Yeah, I'll save here, and I'll say, I mean, I feel like the storyline probably changed a little bit from the author, considering the symbolism between the Olympias, like, city and the, the city and the university having, like, Olympic god-esque names. You know, like, Greek mythology kind of tied in there. I'll say I sure do. I do. They are the very beings that blessed our lands and soil. Back in my hometown, we would go to worship in our village's patron goddess's church and pray for a good harvest. You recall your visits to the village temple, with your father being regulars. You visited enough to the point where you became friends with some of those who resided within the church. Every time you dropped by to worship, thank you for the gifted sub, much appreciated. You and your father would offer your healthiest crops to thank your patron. You haven't gone to church in a while. Probably because the city doesn't have a church for your patron deity. Your goddess had more followers near your village all the way to the south. Crowe gives you a nod of understanding. How about you? Do you believe in gods? You turn to Crowe, repeating the same question he asked you earlier. He scans your face, your eyes, your nose, then your lips. His lingering gaze made you shrink back, your heart fluttering slightly. Crowe seems to realize something to himself as he returns his attention to the stars above, sighing. I don't. This surprises you, and Crowe laughs at your visible shock and confusion. I am not surprised. What? You didn't think I'd be a non-believer? If I have to be honest, no. Why so? He looks like one of those guys who are like, I'm gonna make it, and nobody helped me, including God. Why so? You kind of dress like a priest. Okay. Crowe's your eyes grew wide as he broke out into one of the loudest laughs you've ever heard from him. He laughed so hard that he had to clench his stomach and wipe at the tear-stained corners of his eyes. He was still chuckling when he unbuttons the first two studs of his black polo, revealing more of his collarbone to you. Dude, no Mormon, they don't wear black. They only wear black when it's like grieving time. You quickly avert your eyes, finding the tree's leaves to be very interesting at this moment as you feel a familiar heat rush to your cheeks. Yeah, he's literally an emo artist, I would say. What is it called? The style would be called emo academia. That's what the style is called, I think. How's that? Less formal? For fuck's sake, Ichabod. Feels like I'm seeing a Victorian woman's ankles for the first time. Victorian woman's ankles. Crowe grins at your reaction. It took the both of you a few more seconds of going back and forth with his teasing and you reprimanding him before you finally calmed down. Goth works too. Goth works too, yeah. Goth can be very, like, fancy like that. The next few moments were spent with you pointing at the stars. He just doesn't have the makeup that Goth has. Soul is in the bushes watching. Oh yeah, Soul is definitely in the bushes watching. He's the one that's doing all the nutting that you guys were doing 8 minutes ago. All those nuts, that was Soul in the bushes. The next few moments were spent with you pointing at the stars and Crowe teaching you the constellations with a gentle whisper-like voice. You both fell silent, basking in the peace of the night. As the silence prolonged, Crowe fell deep in thought. About today, Clock. And about the guys. So we're moving to this conversation next, huh? I've got to be honest. Daryl put me up on this little hangout while I was feeling down on the dumps. Hey, yo, they changed his model. He did unbutton. I think I do have to thank him for forcing me, and actually gave me the courage to talk to you after class. He lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding, refusing to meet your eyes. And I just don't know if I upsetted you by suddenly dragging you into this group. I probably should have told you about them a long time ago, huh? I'm sorry, Clock. You bit your lip. You suspected that you might have upset Crowe by making him think that you didn't like the group's presence at all, and that he's forcing you to bend to his will. One thing to know about Crowe is that he never is the type to demand, to control, to be a king, to be a tyrant. You didn't do anything wrong, Crowe. In fact, I should be the one to apologize. Speak up without thinking. His gaze swirling with confusion at your apology. I'm sorry for making you feel bad. Stop that, Ghost! Stop wanking it. I didn't mean to upset. I just... You swallow a lump in your throat, trying your best to hold the tears that were threatening to spill. I just thought you'd forget about me after... They're amazing people. Brittany's pretty, Daryl's a fun guy, Gio's so cool, and Jess is loyal. They're a great group. And most importantly, you're amazing, Crowe. You are all amazing. But not me. I'm just not sure if I could ever be part of the group. Real. Relatable. You were always hidden in the shadows. No matter how much you tried to fit in, you were never to be considered. People treated you like someone to toss away. Someone to use. You're worth nothing but an extra. That's what she always tells you. She? You couldn't hold it back anymore. A sob escapes your lips, your vision slowly blurring as you feel wet droplets of tears finally sliding down your cheek from your eyes. Yeah, a little bit of MC lore right there. For a moment, you saw panic in Crowe's expression, seemingly not expecting you to burst into tears. He reaches out to hold your hand. And suddenly, you feel a pair of arms circling around you as he pulls you closer to him, letting you sob on his shoulder. He says nothing while rubbing a hand along your back, allowing you to cry. Not caring about his clothes getting wet from your tears. Once you calm down, Crowe rests his hand on your back, not letting you out of his embrace. You're amazing, Clock. I'm sorry. I never get to tell you that no matter how many times I've thought of it. I just couldn't seem to find the words. But you're amazing in your own way, Clock. You may not know it, but you're beautiful, you're funny, you're quite a phenomena. You can feel vibrations coming from his chest from the chuckle he emits. Heck, you're the funniest person I know. All I'm saying, Clock, is that you're amazing. You have no idea how much tears you've shed tonight. Sometimes you think it's silly and childish to cry over what was probably a trivial matter to some, but the urge to sob returned after hearing those words from him. Do you want me to call you the Amazing Spider-Man just to prove that you're amazing? That made you giggle a bit as you wiped your tear-stained cheeks. With whatever strength you could muster, you slowly pulled away and lifted yourself up. Hey, yo! Hey, yo, what the hell? What am I getting on top of him? Hey, bro. You sit yourself up, hovering over Crowe. There you see the very same man that made you cry by literally doing... On his face. On his face, Gardania. Cry by literally doing nothing. His braid came loose. You didn't know when, but his hair pooled around his head. Crowe stares up at you with serene eyes, remaining silent as a gentle smile plastered on his face. Oh, something else is plastered on there too now. There's nothing but the moon illuminating his tender features, yet to your vision he seems to glow. He's absolutely beautiful. Oh, how you wish you could blame everything on him. If you could, you'd tell him that he's the reason for all the unnecessary feelings swelling in your chest. You'd tell him exactly how good and bad it all feels, the heartaches and butterflies fluttering about your stomach. You want to blame him, but you can't. Wow, there's so many more CGs for this game. I'm actually I was expecting like 3. We've gotten like what, like 5 extra CGs? I think I know what chat wants me to do, so I guess we'll just do it. You have no idea where you got the guts to do the thing you did next, but the feeling of his lips pressed on yours made the butterflies rattle in your stomach, threatening to burst out of their cage. Your heart beats fast like you've just ran a marathon as you feel the heat rush to your cheeks. Crowe freezes against you, and for a moment there, you thought you just made a huge mistake. You're prepared to pull away and apologize, but he makes a move you did not expect. You know, it's a hydrate check. Take a sip, everybody. Seriously, stay hydrated. The gentle grip that Crowe had on the small of your back slithers its way to the back of your head. Fingers intertwined with your hair as he presses you closer to him, returning your kiss with a fervent scent of desperation. His other hand holds your waist in a tight embrace, not wanting to let you go. Out of your own surprise, you break the kiss by pulling away slightly. Crowe chases after you, leaning in close to capture your lips in a deeper and more passionate manner than before. You feel like putty in his embrace as he cups your cheek with one hand, his lips needily asking for more access to yours. By cheek, they mean, you know, booty cheek. In response, you shut your eyes tight, and your arms come to wrap around his shoulders, granting his desire by tilting your head against his. The both of you losing all sense of the world as you fell deep into the sensation of your lips against each other. He eventually pulls away, a string of saliva connecting your lips to his own. They should have drew that. They should have drew that. Big slobby... Hey, stop that! Connecting your lips to his own. His breaths are heavy, matching yours, and you beheld his red face and hair messier than before. He tucks away a stray strand of hair behind your ear before rubbing your cheek with his thumb. Chat's real quiet all of a sudden. Let me look over. What the? Crowe scans your disheveled figure above him. You can see the way his eyes dilute the longer he keeps his gaze on your face. I knew we were going stargazing tonight, but I didn't expect the brightest star to be just in front of me. You giggled at his cheesy pickup line. God. What? What? God. I like you, Clock. Just like, huh? Just like. We just made out under the stars, and you just said I like you. Not even I like you. No, I love you. Alright. I liked you the first time I laid my eyes upon you. I couldn't tell you because I was scared that I might lose whatever we have at the moment. That I would lose you. I couldn't bear to live a life without you. Crowe, I like you too. I've liked you ever since too. You chuckle at the silly thoughts you recall. The way you've been doubting your feelings, his feelings. His eyes grow wide, jaw falling slack as he tries to comprehend the words that came out of your lips. He blinks once, twice, before a smile as bright as the stars above appears on his face. Is this a dream? I hope not. That was a really cute smile. If I'm in a dream, please tell the sleeping me to never wake up. I want to live in this dream forever. Will this convince you it's not a dream? You lean closer to his face and place a peck on his cheek. Maybe, but I think this would definitely convince me. He captures your lips swiftly, distracting you when he moves in to bury his face in the crook of your neck to nibble at the soft flesh. You gasp. Now people will know you're mine. Hey, now. Crowe laughs out heartily at your reaction, and you simply roll your eyes. You couldn't stay mad at him. Dusts off the grass that sticks to his shirt before giving you a once-over and gently swatting away the leaves on your hair and clothes. You get up, and Crowe retrieves his bag, almost forgotten by the tree. He looks back at you and takes your hand silently, was time to go. It's time to leave this magical place. You look at the stars and how brightly they shone. You gave the sky one last glance before turning away, hand clasped tightly around Crowe's as you let him lead you home. Crowe walks you to your apartment, noting that he kept you out late at night. You bid Crowe goodbye after he safely sees you inside, and he gives you a wave before turning on his heel and making his way down the stairs. You close your apartment door and lean on it, heaving a puff of air. You recall the conversation you had with Crowe while you walked with him on the street leading to your home. I'm going to give the guys a chance. I think I judged them too quickly. So I want to do better. I want to get to know them better. If you trust them, then I trust them too. Crowe's expression was of surprise at your declaration as your determined face reflected in his orbs. Crowe chuckles at your enthusiasm, giving you a friendly pat on the head. Don't heckle Crowe. Seriously, don't do that. Let people like what they like. You know, we're gonna see Crowe soon anyways, because once we finish day 1, I'll reload and we'll pick more of the soul options, okay? But don't heckle. Because that was honestly really cute. I'm really happy that they gave him a lot more, because originally I was very surprised to hear that Crowe was supposed to be a love interest. Like, I was surprised, because there was, like, the first day had literally nothing for Crowe. I'm not saying you shouldn't like Crowe, I just prefer Soul. You literally just booed twice in a row in all caps, brother. That would say, that is projecting your opinion heavily. Please refrain. Crowe's expression was of surprise at your declaration as your determined face reflected in his orbs. Crowe chuckles at your enthusiasm, giving you a friendly pat on the head. I'm glad you're giving them a chance, Clock. I'm sure they will feel the same. You engaged in other conversations with Crowe during your walk, the topics not really being of any importance as you have forgotten them by now, save for his gentle voice and the occasional fond glances he stole at you. Time with Crowe seemed to pass by so quickly. You arrived at your apartment complex before you knew it. You make your way to the living room and you throw your school bag to the random corner, immediately plopping down on your sofa as you turn on the small television. I love that we have a single room apartment, like, to ourselves. We've got these 2 beautiful bookshelves, some nice couches, even like this wardrobe, a big ass plants, you know? But we have like a TV from what, the fucking 50s? What? Excuse me. No, I'll wait until end of the stream to see Octo art, okay? Cursed Octo art. Nothing interesting is going on, save for some food commercials and movie trailers. I'm not saying you need a big TV, but at the same time, this TV's a box, bro. With a fucking antenna. That pizza looks good. Maybe I should order something. Reaching to your pockets and taking out your phone, you were about to dial the numbers on the television when a new notification bubble popped up on your notification bar. It's from a group chat you've never seen before. After scrutinizing it, you realized that it was Crowe who added you in. It was a group chat with the rest of his friends. You open it. It is a good game. All the characters are really well designed. I think they did go over the other characters too, to like kind of pretty them up. Anyone want to go to the Halloween party this Friday? It's gonna be awesome. Aren't we all a little bit too old for costume parties? Is it required? You two are no fun at all. I won't go if it's not a school requirement. Much less a waste of my time. Is it? No, it isn't. But it'll be a great and fun experience for all of us. I mean, we should loosen up a bit, you know? I agree with Crowe. Count me in. Bass. I've got more important things to do than that party. Now, will you excuse me? I'll be doing my leftover tasks for tonight. Gio has gone offline. Ashfab, if you want to stick around, we're going to be basically restarting the run, choosing Souls routes. We will be doing a little bit of skipping, though. It's only day 1 that we're doing. Sheesh, a stick in the mud as usual. How about you, Clock? Me? You join in. It'll be fun. You were honestly surprised they somehow remembered you. Checking your calendar through your phone, you didn't seem to have any plans in the near future, or any plans at all. You'd like to just spend your time in your apartment alone. I mean, sure. That's great to hear. Oh, Crowe seems happy about it. You giggled. This also reminds you of something. Or rather, someone. Opening another chat, you tapped in Soul's newly added contact and sent him a message by sending the image of the same poster Daryl sent. A Halloween party. Hosted by the school? Yeah. I'm not quite into parties. Oh. Oh, well, that's alright. Just asking, that's all. Smiley face. Wait. If you're coming, then I'm coming as well. Oh. Really? Really? Do you plan on dressing up? I don't know. Do you? I mean, it's a costume party, so why not? I'll try to think of something then. Okay. You swear you can feel the smile behind those words. With a quick word of goodbye, you set your phone down when you heard your doorbell. That must be the food delivery. Damn, nice. Ooh, nice bedroom. Those sheets? Oh my god, that's a nice set of sheets. I really like that, actually. I really like the flowers, too, man. You've got a great room. I can't even keep a cactus alive, personally. I have one bamboo plant alive in my house that I can keep alive. I'm pretty fucking horrible. My mom would be so angry at me, but I just wouldn't be able to do it. I also have cats, so they would destroy any plants I have. Afterwards, you ate your dinner and prepared yourself for bed. Thought about the events that happened today, meeting the group, meeting Soul, and most especially your little hangout with Crowe. Each and every moment is a special occasion on its own. Laying out a big yawn as you stretched your body. You turn to your laundry, slowly piling up, and scratch your head. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can afford like this huge-ass apartment, but you can't afford at least a flat screen? We'll probably do laundry tomorrow. But for now, you plopped yourself on the soft cushions of your bed, getting into a comfortable position and slowly dozing off as you closed your eyes, embracing sleep as the night goes. And this maiden, she lived, with no other thoughts than to love and be loved by me, the one who loves. I was a child, she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. Day 2, the kingdom. Okay. So I'm gonna save there. Then we're gonna go to the main menu. And we're gonna load up. So first of all, I'm gonna go back to this option. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to this option. We're gonna pick the opposite thing for each thing first. And then we're gonna go back and do soul stuff, okay? Sound good? So we're just gonna take his hand. Took his hand. In return, Crowe wraps his fingers around yours. Yes, that was the end of day 1. There's still a day 2, but I don't know if we'll get to that today. We might do that tomorrow night, because I wanted to see all the new stuff in day 1, basically. And then see all the new stuff in day 2, if that makes sense. And that might be a little bit too long for one video. His nervous smile melts into a genuine and happier one before he leads the both of you away from the school's gate and to the streets. Okay, so that's all that happens, so we skip. I don't this time. You don't? No, I don't. I believe in one's hard work. Does that count? Crowe merely chuckles at your statement. That's actually how I feel. With a hand resting on his chest, he shakes his head slightly as if he couldn't believe he just heard what you said. I don't mind the people who believe in them. I just don't like the way some of them worship the very ground these so-called gods walked on. You scoffed. I believe that everyone is made possible through everyone's efforts, be it as a team or as an individual. Their believers only give credit to these deities for everything, and it's an insult to the forgotten people who sacrifice themselves to make things happen. So fucking based. What the hell? You recalled the townsfolk who endlessly praised and worshipped your patron deity for the bountiful harvest you and your family broke sweat and tears for. You watched as the efforts of your labor were all thrown to some invisible being, which, as far as you knew, returned nothing but calamities one after the other. It is only a miracle that you and your father and the damned farmland are still standing and your crops still thriving, even after so much damage. Crowe notices the way your brows furrow. He says nothing, but the look in his eyes tells you that he shares your sentiments wholeheartedly. This is why we're two peeds in the same pod. How about you? Do you believe in gods? Okay, I think this is the same. Yeah, this is the same. We're just gonna give him a big hug. Didn't say what part of him I was hugging. You didn't feel as bad as before, but your vessel is not completely empty yet. Somehow, just looking at Crowe, and the comfort he brought you, made you want to bask in it longer until you were sure you had no tears left to shed. Look, it wasn't me! Someone redeemed a moan! Okay, I had to do it to him. Leaning down once more, you bury your face in the crook of his neck, and his arms instinctively wrap around you. His hug warm and soothing as he waits for you to gather your thoughts. Get wrecked, chat. Crowe rubs circles on your back, a silent way of telling you that he was there. You were not alone, and that he'd be there whenever you needed him. He didn't say a word, understanding that you need silence more than anything right now. You couldn't thank him enough for always knowing what you needed. Well, that ends that pretty fast, actually. Oh, wait, okay, you pull away, meeting Crowe's eyes. He seemed to ask for you after your well-being. Fixing his collar, he turns to you. Are you good to go? You could read just from his gaze. We just got a stretch check and a posture check, so maybe just a... Good stretch. And a little bit of a for you as well. Thank you. Are you good to go? You nod slightly. Oh, and another hydrate. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Stay hydrated, everybody. Do a stretch. Stand up, maybe. Do a squat. I don't know. But shake one out for me, okay? You nod slightly, and it is only then that Crowe completely releases you from his embrace. Helping you sit up. Okay, this is the same. No, it's not. Gives you once over it. Yeah, this is the same. You blink at him, and he only smiles at you. Get up, and Crowe retrieves his bag, almost forgotten by the tree. It's time to go. Okay, this is the same. This is the same. Oh, wait. Crowe walks you to your apartment, noting that he kept you out late at night. Bid Crowe goodbye after he safely sees you inside, and he gives you a wave before turning on his heel, making his way down the stairs. So we don't hang out after, we just go straight home. Close your apartment door and leave on it, heaving a puff of air. Recall the conversation you had with Crowe while you walked with him on the street leading to your home. Oh, never mind. I'm going to give the guys a chance. This is the same. Must be the food delivery. Prepared for bed. Okay. Okay, so that's all the same. So, let's go back to the main menu. Yes. So, let's load up again. Okay, so you basically just go home. You say no. Basically, you reject him if you say no to those things. We're going to go back to the beginning. I'll just go back to this one, and we'll just see what happens quick. Stay silent. Not talking, huh? You have the right to remain silent. But in this case, I need you to talk. Feel the sharp edge of the knife cut through your skin. The stinging sensation made your head spin as you slowly started breathing fast. In your state of panic, you try to jab his abdomen with your elbow, hoping to catch him off guard, to escape only to have him grab the same elbow and twist it behind your back, earning a loud squeal from you. Okay, you just wussy out anyways. Nah, dude. Which came to face with a look of confusion. He's even looking at you. Okay, so it just becomes the same thing. Okay, so don't care about that. We're gonna go back to this. Yes. Okay, quick chat. Do you want to go to the library, or do you want to save Soul for last, and we'll go with them, and we'll meet the crew first, and then we'll end with Soul at the library? How about that? Or do you just want me to go meet Soul now and then end with the crew? I'll let you decide. End with Soul? I think that's probably good. Go with them. Brittany hummed a sound of content before turning her heel and heading towards the classroom's exit, the three other friends following behind her. Crowe looks back at you by the door, waiting for you. Catching up, you raise your head to meet his azure orbs once more. Your heartbeat quickens with your ribcage in question. You two, stop oogling at each other and hurry up. I love this, dude, that she just fucking peeks out from the corner. She's like, get the fuck out of there. Brittany's exclamation made the both of you jump. You immediately look down, using your hair as a curtain to hide your reddened face. Crowe just rubbed the back of his neck. Two eventually followed behind Brittany and the rest of the group towards the cafeteria. The cafeteria is loud and crowded. Tables are filled with students, while the rest are lined up at the counter grabbing their lunches. A groan escaped Brittany's lips as she looks around for any sign of a vacant table you all could share. What a fucking great time to not bring lunch, huh? Next time I'm preparing my lunch the night before. I wonder why it's so crowded today. New lunch menu, perhaps? It seems like it. We'll be left with nothing else if we keep standing around here and loiter. Hey, Geo, Daryl. Oh, yes. What is it, your royal majesty? Daryl cooed with a teasing tone. Brittany rolled her eyes at this silly gesture. Could you two look for a vacant spot while the rest of us line up? Saves us time that way. Yeah, sure, Britt. Let's go, Geo. Wrapping an arm around Geo's shoulder, while ignoring his obvious irritation from the said male, the two walked it away in hopes of looking for an unoccupied table. Yo, bye, Panic Frog. What's up? Brittany then turns to you. Oh, right, Clock. I'm not sure if you have packed anything like those two did, but if you want to line up with us or go help them find a table, make a choice. You decided that you... Shit. Okay, we'll save again, I guess. 2. You know what? I can save. I can afford to save here because I have this, so I'll just save here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's... I want to talk to the boys, so let's go. I have my own lunch. Oh. That's good. Well, you go join those two goons and wait for us, alright? Goons? They're gooners? Why didn't you say so? My people. Not actually my people. I'm not a gooner. I'm not a gooner, I swear. Brittany gives you a nod and waves you off. Turning on her heel, she quickly makes her way to the line with Jess following behind her. That guy is. Daniel, Dumb Catboy, that's a gooner. Lynn, that's a gooner. Ghost is definitely a gooner. You want me to get you anything, Clock? No, it's fine. You won't get anything for yourself if you keep idling by. Crowe's shoulders shook at your statement, letting out a soft and hearty chuckle as a smile made its way onto his handsome features. You're a gooner. Cat's the only one that's not a gooner. Turns around, giving you a wave, then follows behind the two girls, hoping to make it to the line with them. As for you, you made your way to where Geo and Daryl were. It seems that they have managed to find a vacant spot as you saw them currently seated on a round table, merely cleaning up after the group of students who previously occupied the space. Once seated, the two boys took out what seemed to be their individual packed lunches. Before Geo was a very intricate bento box. The contents inside look as expensive looking as its container, whereas Daryl only has 3 sandwiches he took out from his paper bag. 3?! Your food always looks so good, Geo. I bet they taste just as good, too. Mind if I take one? No. No, Geo said with a flat tone, slapping the jock's hand away from his bento box. Daryl pouted, rubbing his hands before returning it to his own sandwich. As you sat down across the two boys, Geo kept his eyes on you for quite a while, his gaze unwavering as he chewed on his lunch. What's up with this guy sizing you up? You and Geo stared at each other for a good and uncomfortable minute. Just as you were about to open your mouth to ask what this guy's deal is, Daryl's eyes went wide as he finally took notice of your presence in the table. Oh, right. Clock, correct? What did you bring for lunch? I mean, if you don't mind sharing, that is. How old is he? We're in college, I believe. So, we're all adults here, which makes me very happy, because I like when we're playing games with adults. Sharing what food I have, or sharing the food itself? Why not both? As long as you're willing to share. Unlike this guy over here. Geo only rolled his eyes when the jock nudged his shoulder. Yeah, both smash. I like Hugo and his brother Geo a lot. Don't bother with Daryl. He'll take your food even if you don't give him any. Hey now, I'm not that cruel. Say that to Brittany's lunch that you took yesterday. Jess was kind enough to give her lunch to compensate. I was hungry. Not my fault Coach had me do 3 laps around the field. Well, the two bicker on like children. You let out a small chuckle, eating the sandwich you took out from your own container. But, excuse me! Maybe these guys aren't so bad as you thought they might be. Then at the corner of your eye, you notice Brittany's familiar wavy blonde hair making her way to the table. In tow is none other than Jess and Crowe, each with their own trays of food. Move your ass aside, Daryl. I'm sitting... A loud gasp escaped Brittany's lips. her mouth open in wide shock. The food on her tray is now splattered across her white uniform. Brittany! Oops, sorry about that. You should have watched where you're going there. Oh, you know what? She keeps that voice. Never mind, she's a bitch. Multiple footsteps came near. A trio of girls show themselves before you. The tallest of the bunch, the red-haired one, placed a hand over where her heart is and lets out a mocking gasp at the mess. Brittany's eyes met with the red-haired bully. Judging from the way Brittany's face twisted with rage, they seemed to know each other. Oh, I beat her the fuck up. I punched the face. Britt, are you alright? We should get yourself cleaned. You fucking bitch! This is my only clean uniform. How fucking dare you? Oh, look at Miss Claire all fired up. Careful there, sweetie. You'll get wrinkles. It's not like you're not ugly already. What? Oh my god, dude. Them's fighting words. The mean girl coos at Brittany. Her two friends behind her laughs along with her antics. Yeah, you like that? Yeah. I thought it was a dude bully, but now that it's a girl, I'm still keeping the voice. You've got a bad feeling about this. The entire cafeteria breaks in a few murmurs and whispers, their attention now fixated on the group of girls. Some stopped eating, while some took out their phones, ready to film to whatever happens next. Crowe tries to come in between them to stop the fight, but he wasn't fast enough. Splat! Next thing we knew, another loud gasp was heard. I love her face. A wide smile etched itself on Brittany's face. The mean girl's white uniform now smeared with varieties of wet sauces and oils, matching Brittany's own dirtied uniform. Jess's face filled with shock. The food from her tray is now gone. Take that shit stain. You fucking bitch! Food fight! The moment Daryl howled those words, the cafeteria went into a hectic frenzy. Food and drinks started flying across the area as each student starts tossing whatever they could get their hands on. Are those trays? Clock! Everyone stop this madness at once! A sudden wave of pain made its way to your head, and the last thing you saw was Crowe calling out your name before passing out. Sorry, chat, no fight for us. We got knocked the fuck out. By one tray at the start. Where am I? Oh, you're awake. Thank goodness. Crowe? You tried to sit up, but a sudden shot of pain went through your head, stopped you. You reached out to touch where the ache was coming from, but Crowe stopped you by holding onto your wrist. Careful now. The nurse already bandaged your head. Don't push yourself. Crowe gently pushed you back down on the medical bed. He takes a lone stool and takes a seat right next to you. What happened? Well, after Daryl started that mess of a food fight, the principal was called in to stop it. Daryl got lucky enough to escape when he did. Gio was nowhere to be seen. As for Brittany, what about her? Well, Jess helped her out to grab a new uniform from the principal's office. Then why does my head hurt so much? Someone somehow threw a tray and you were unfortunate enough to get hit by it. Thankfully, I got you out of there before things got ugly. Thanks, Crowe. I owe you one. I'm always there for you, Clock. Never forget that. Anyway, it's around 1:45 in the afternoon right now. I should probably head out to my next class. You should stay here until the nurse gets back. You'll be alright alone here, right? You wanted to say no, but stopped yourself before you could. Yeah, you can go ahead. You sure? Yeah, I'll be fine, Crowe. You've done enough for me today. You gave him a small smile, but he did not return it. Crowe squeezes your hand, quite hesitant to let you go. Eventually, he loosened his grip. He stands up from his chair and walks towards the exit. But before he could leave, he turned around and gave you one last smile, eventually closing the door and going out of the infirmary. You groaned and laid back down on the bed, feeling the bandage on your head. At least the pain is slowly dying a bit. Hope it didn't leave a mark on my head. You're guessing you came face to face with the edges of one of the metallic trays. Since when did trays hurt that much? Then again, there were athletes in the area, Daryl being one of them. Just then you heard the door opening, the nurse's voice echoing through the room as the clicking of her heels got louder as she drew closer. The school nurse entered, and following her was a tall student dressed in black, with a bloody hand apparently. He seemed to be holding on to his left hand. You could see the red streak of blood overflowing. That looks bad. He sure had it worse than me. I wonder what happened. Someone threw a knife. You should be thankful you didn't cut a vein. How were they able to get past with that pocket knife in the first place? The nurse sighed. It seems like she got her hands full with another student. The latter, however, didn't say anything as he let out a small hiss when the nurse dabbed some disinfectant on his wound. He sat up slowly, careful not to hit your head on anything else before stealing a glance at the student and the nurse. Your eyes meet with reddish-orange ones. Your heart raced as you feel your heartbeat quicken. What an unusual color. They remind me of the setting sun. The nurse finishes up wrapping around his wound, a blotch of red slowly seeping out and staining the once white bandage. However, his gaze is still fixated on you. The nurse follows his line of sight and finally takes notice of your conscious figure. Ah, you're finally awake, Mr. Works. It's MrClockWorks, but whatever. She approached you with a bottle of painkiller she took from one of the transparent cabinets on the walls before handing a pill to you. How are you feeling, dear? Does your head still hurt? It's slowly dissipating, ma'am. Thank you. She hands you the pill and you take it down your throat. No water? Try? You're free to stay here for a while longer, Mr. Works. It's MrClockWorks. But you need to return to your class as soon as you're feeling better. You gave the nurse a nod. She, in return, hums in approval before going back to the taller male in black. As for you, Mr. Brugmansia, if ever your bandage gets dirty throughout the day, don't hesitate to come back here, and I'll reapply it with a new roll. The taller male hummed. He turned on his heel and made his way towards the next door before pausing. I'll return to my class now. Thanks for patching me up, nurse. The tall student gives you one last look with his fiery red eyes before making his exit with a click of the door. Oh. The nurse lets out a sigh, rubbing her temples, feeling a headache surfacing. I swear, that child comes here every other day. Him? Oh, you're not classmates with Mr. Brugmansia? Odd, I thought he might know you from the way he was looking at you. No, I haven't seen him around. More like you never bothered to look who was around you, since no one would ever bother to spare a glance at you. Oh, sorry, Mikey, to hear. I'm glad you're back, though. Well, either way, don't get into too much trouble like him, alright? That raises a question in your head. Just how bad were the guy's injuries that he comes to the nurse's office almost every other day? Kind of explains why she's been sighing hard ever since she brought the tall male into her office. With an injury as bad as a near stab wound on the palm, you can only take a wild guess. And as much as you are curious to know what transpired, you're nearly late from your next class. Eyeing the clock reference on top of the door frame, you got out of the medical bed. You thanked the nurse and made your way out of her office. That one was different. If I remember correctly, the original version, you talked to him a little bit in there. Barely making it, turning to the podium, you exhaled a breath you didn't realize you were holding when you realized your teacher was absent. Okay, this is the art class. We could, yeah. Wait for your professor's revival, someone's staring at you. Shook it off thinking that must have been the lack of sleep. You look out the window. Maybe it's the cold weather. Hearing the classroom door open, your art professor comes in, blah blah blah, he starts the lecture. Okay. So this is still similar. Okay, this is the same. Yeah. You curse at yourself. You can only hope that you're not the only student who didn't get their own partner for this class. But upon looking around, it seems like everyone's calm and collected. Were you the only one panicking here? Unlike the rest of the class scurrying around to meet their partner, you were the only fool who was left standing. Okay, and someone else was left. It's that guy from the clinic. I never knew he was in the same class as me. Is he not going to bother with his partner? Unless... Hey there! Looks up from his desk and looks at you approaching form before you're eventually standing next to him. It's you. Seems like you're a bit lost there. Do you have a partner? No. Well, just your luck then. Me neither. So, do you want to be partners? Sure, why not? He took the vacant seat right beside him, his book now tucked away, and on his desk is now a pen and piece of paper, seemingly ready to take notes. Oh, and then this is the same? Okay, wait, your name? I was gonna pick this. Your name contradicts with your whole glam, not gonna lie, bro. Your name means the exact opposite to what you're wearing, I've got to be honest. Not that you don't dress well, I mean, you look good. A pinch of red makes its way to his face. Soul bit his lower lip as he readjusts his collar. I should just shut the fuck up. He averts his gaze, biting his inner cheek. Thanks. You look good too. I shouldn't introduce myself before this gets any more awkward. Okay. Oh, but I have this bandage on my face. Wouldn't that hinder the process? Oh, he wants to draw me. You recall the events that happened back in the cafeteria. I can simply ignore it. Or make something better out of it. Trust the process. Seems like he's already got an idea on what to do. Okay. I'm great at art. Oh, then surprise me. Sorry, I can't draw you back because of this damned injury. No, don't worry about it. You're excused, and I don't want you to stress your hand over this. Took out your sketch pad and your pencil and worked with his portrait with determination, his eyes never leaving your face. You would often look up to see his features, taking note of every curve. A blush occasionally invades his cheeks as he tries his best not to look away while you work. While you were sketching up, you can't help but avert your eyes on his bandaged hand from time to time. Seems like you're quite curious to know what happened to this, huh? And you weren't slick with it either. You froze when he caught you red-handed, just like the red seeping out of his hand. You stopped drawing. Sorry, that was rude of me. It's fine. This is just the usual for me. I've gotten worse injuries than this. You raised a brow at that. Not the worst. If you don't mind me asking, what happened? He paused and averted his eyes, but opened up to speak. Nothing much. Was minding my own business. Got assaulted. I had to defend myself. He talked as if it's just another normal Monday for him. Your eyes furrowed. He noticed and just chuckled. Kiss it better and sniff a sniffa. What the hell, chat? No need to worry about me. All that matters is that I'm still here. He didn't say anything, however, continuing on with the drawing, your movement slow and now refusing to look at his injured hand. This school is way more fucked up than I thought it would be. The sound of the school bell rang across the classroom and through the hallway. You quickly made a few more lines on your portrait before giving up. You closed your pad and proceeded to shove it inside your backpack, earning you a confused look on your partner's face. Not even going to show me what you've made? It's not done yet. That never bothered me. Can I see it? Wait! How about a small deal? I'll show it to you once I'm done with the portrait and you still need to draw me once your injury gets better. Sounds like a plan? Say with a wide grin on your face, trying your best to convince the male. He stares at your face for a short moment before eventually leaning back on his chair, arms crossed, and nods along with your ordeal. Packing your things, you and Soul continue out to the hallway. Do you have a phone? We should exchange numbers and update each other so we can do the next 2 more tasks. Soul then takes out his phone and asks you for your number. You recite it out as he inputted it on his phone. Let me try to send you a message. Okay, and so this would be the same, right? Yeah, I think this would be the same. Yeah, okay. Meet new people, formally meet the group, meeting Soul. This is all the same. Okay, so this is the same. So I'm gonna load up again, one more time. Yes. Load up. I kind of like the Hugo... Okay, the cafeteria route's okay. Like, it's alright. I can choose it. I buy your lunch. Sure, we can go through this. And then we'll do the library, okay? I'll buy. Alright, then. Okay, so skip this. Dismissing the visible annoyance on Gio's face. Come on, Jess, let's get in line. Yes, of course. Okay. Let's get in line as well before more people start piling up. We don't want to end up with the bad stuff, don't we, Clock? You could say that again. Shudder to the thought, remembering the leftovers from the school cafeteria. With a nod, you and Crowe made it in line with the rest of the student body. While you were lining up, Crowe turns his attention back to you. I'm glad you decided to come with us, Clock. I know it may seem selfish of me to drag you along, but there are new friends now. I hope you don't mind. Say nothing? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just judging them too fast. That's alright, Clock. Their first impressions weren't really the best either. Well, save for Daryl. He seems to be the only one who is more excited to meet you. I can tell. Crowe lets out a soft chuckle. I'm just happy that you're giving them a chance, Clock. Conversation with Crowe ended there and your focus returned to the line. Thought for a bit, how are you going to fit in with the group? still unsure of everyone's personalities, not to mention intentions, and why Crowe just bothered to introduce you to them just now. You'll think hard about it later. For now, you hand out your own tray for the cafeteria staff to place your food on. You weren't really that hungry and just bought a sandwich and a box of juice. Just the usual, you thought. Whenever you find the time to spend your lunch break here. By the end of the other side of the line, Brittany and Jess was already waiting for you and Crowe, tray filled with food in their hands. Once everyone got their food, Brittany turned her heel and walked towards... Okay, so this is the same, I assume. Okay, so that's all the same. We don't need to see that again. It's kind of just like you just talked to him. So let's load up one more time. Let's go to the library. Okay. I'll head to the library today. With a hand on her hip, Brittany stares at you, as if waiting for you to change your mind. Okay, she loosens a sigh. Brittany wordlessly turns on her heel and walks out of the classroom. Crowe, however, stays in the exact same spot right next to you. Noticing this, Gio, the one in the hoodie, stops. Crowe. Huh? Oh, be right there. Crowe paused shortly to sneak a look at you before walking towards Gio, his movements slow and hesitant to leave your side. Although Crowe did not give you a farewell glance before reaching his friend, it was Gio who glared at you over his shoulder. His gaze was intimidating and intense. It reminded you of the way predators look at their prey. Bro! You're so hot. Don't look at me like that. I felt your heart stop beating for a moment. Confused by his apparent stillness, Crowe was about to question his blue-haired companion, but Gio waved his hand dismissively. Before Crowe could notice anything, Gio breaks his gaze away from yours and ushers his friend out of the classroom. You let out the breath you didn't know you were holding. What was that about? Gave me nothing but short glances and glares since I've met him. Maybe I'm not suited to be part of their group. Shake away the negative thoughts attempting to plague your mind. Returning to your original plan, you packed up your things and proceeded to heading out. Next stop, the library. Rowdy hallway buzzed with noise as sweaty and tired students made their way to their respective classes. Some presumably headed to the cafeteria for a break. Several were headed to the same direction you were walking. With the library door within your reach, a smile etched on your face. You open the doors, immediately greeted by the familiar scent of coffee and library books. That sounds awesome. What the fuck? Dream. You've always been awed by your university's fancy facilities. In fact, the library surprisingly operates as a small cafe, serving coffee to the students who need it early in the morning until the afternoon. It is a huge hit amongst everyone, and you understand why. Caffeine is the fuel to a college student's weary soul. The aroma of coffee somehow lightened your mood, anticipating a short moment of peace within the library. You made your way towards your usual seat by the large window near the cafe section. Your mood dropped when you spotted an unfamiliar face occupying the chair you've come to favor. You groaned. Just great. What should I do about this? I'm gonna just save over the lunch thing. I don't really care about the lunch one. Okay, return. Just take the seat beside him, ask them to move away from your seat, find somewhere else to sit. Ask them to move away from your seat, just take the seat beside them. Let's start nice, right? I feel like starting nice is the way to go. Just take the seat beside him. You don't feel like talking to him or causing trouble on your end. With a sigh, you give up the thought of giving your seat back as you dragged a spare chair and placed it beside his. He looks at you from the corner of his eye. You thought he would say something, but he didn't seem to mind since he brought his attention back to the book he was reading. You continued with your report, occasionally tapping your pen on the paper with furrowed brows. You think too hard for this stupid task, but your brain came up empty for words. You feel him glance at you from time to time, but you paid him no mind to him now that your report took priority. Oh, maybe that wasn't the one I should have picked. I should have picked the one where you talked to him. Time passed, and eventually lunch break was nearing its end. You groaned, half your paper still empty. You weren't able to get much work done. All you did was probably go over the poem over and over multiple times in hopes that a sudden will to write will hit you. And sadly, it did not. You hear the guy beside you standing up from his seat. You nearly forgot about his presence, and heads out of the library, leaving you alone at the table. Glance at the wall clock, cursing at the time. Clock reference. Seeing that there's no point in wasting more time here, you made your way out of the library as well. Oh, wait. Okay. Once you reached the hallway, the stranger from the library was already gone, but what surprised you was Crowe's presence, followed by the same group of friends you saw this morning. Only that Brittany's uniform is covered with what seems to be a mix of ketchup, mustard, and a variety of oils, while Jess tries her best to wipe them off of her. Wait, I remember the library having so much more. Is it just because I sat beside him? Yeah, we sat on his lap last time. I guess I gotta do the other options. 1 second. What the fuck happened in the cafeteria? Clock, I was about to check up on you. How are you feeling? Doing fine. Just mad I didn't get much work done on my paper. You can always come to me for some help, Clock. You give Crowe a smile. He's saying this. She's like, what the fuck, man? You give Crowe a smile, thankful for his will to help before turning to Brittany. The said girl notices your gaze on her and just lets out a huff. She seems embarrassed. I'm doing fine, although... You turn your gaze to the blonde behind him. Crowe follows your line of sight and scratches his cheek. A drop of sweat rolls down his neck. Sensing your curiosity, he turns to Brittany. The blonde woman just waves him off, refusing to meet his eyes. Taking that as a sign to proceed, Crowe explains. Things went a bit hectic in the cafeteria. A food fight broke out. And it was the best food fight ever! You should have seen the face of that red-headed bitch when you slammed ketchup on her uniform! Daryl jumped in the conversation, startling you and Crowe at his sudden appearance. An annoyed expression made its way onto Crowe's face. Damn. You nearly got all of us in trouble, Daryl. I'm just glad we got ourselves out of there before things got worse. Yeah, our knight in shining armor, Mr. Ichabod, always to the rescue. Really making use of your title as a school rep, huh? Daryl gives Crowe a little nudge. The said man just rolled his eyes. But you've got to admit the look on Pinkie Pie was fucking hilarious, right, Britt? Wink. You and Daryl turn to Brittany, some of the sauces on her uniform gone, leaving nothing but a stain on it. A small smirk formed on her lips as she recalled the earlier events. Well, I can't deny that it felt good having to fight back. Daryl gives a toothy smile at the blonde woman, which she returns with her own snarky smile. Crowe only rolls his eyes, shaking his head at the two troublemakers. Contrary to his visible disagreement, you couldn't help but notice a small smile on his face, as if he's proud of them despite the trouble they caused. As you observe them, you notice something amiss, or rather someone amiss. Jess seemed to catch up onto your confusion at the lack of numbers and stepped up to explain. If you're looking for Gio, he said he was going somewhere else. I'm not quite sure where, though. I see. He's staring at me. Not that I was actively trying to look for the guy, he actually scares me. Recall the look he gave you right before you left the library, just remembering it sends a shiver down your spine. Considered tugging on Crowe's sleeve, wanting to seek for answers about his other friend, but seeing how he's going along with the group with a genuine smile on his face, you bit your lower lip. Couldn't bear to ruin the mood. I should head to my next class. Not sparing them any more time, you swiftly turn your heel and rush out of the scene. Ah! He's quite a runner, isn't he? Daryl perks up beside Crowe's solemn face. Achoo! Ah! I sneezed. I fucking sneezed. Crowe's, well, the two of you stare at your departing form. Crowe sighs and looks down at the floor. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. The taller jock says nothing but gives his friend a look of pity. Rubbing Crowe's back, he tries to think of something, anything, to reassure the man next to him. Thank you for the bless you. And how's Canadian weather? It is kind of cold, kind of hot. It's like weird right now. It's autumn for us still, so it's like rainy, I guess. Daryl's eyes suddenly lit up, a smile appearing on his lips. Taking advantage of Crowe's vulnerability, he swiftly snatched his friend's phone from his pockets, the latter not even batting an eye at his phone that was taken. Instead, he questions him. The jock simply messes with his phone, his tongue sticking out from the corner of his lips. What are you doing? Trying to fix your love life. You're welcome, by the way. What are you talking about? Crowe's eyes grow wide at the block of text Daryl showed him. Give that back! Daryl simply laughs at Crowe's failed attempts in getting his phone back. Daryl waves Crowe's blue mobile phone in the air. You've got no choice, Crowe. I've already sent the message. Daryl, you sneaky bastard. You'll call me your favorite wingman after this. The jock winks. What a bro. A few feet away from the men, Brittany and Jess simply observed the two males. Turned to each other and shrugged, wondering what Daryl could have done to get Crowe flustered like that. Thank you for the bless yous. Much appreciated. Just a little bit of a sneeze. Okay. Making it to the classroom. So this is the same. So I'm going to load up. Hopefully we're on load. Okay, we're on load. Let's go back to the library. Yeah, let's go back to the library. Ask them to move away from your seat. No, you refuse to accept this. That is your seat. Heck, you even made sure that people know it's yours by scribbling your name on the wooden chair. Okay, the last part is a lie. You'll probably get in trouble if you ever vandalize school property. But you've been in the library more than you could count, that you're pretty sure even the regular students who come here know that it's your spot. Swallowing your pride, you slowly approach the seated guy. Once you made it to his side, however, he didn't bother to acknowledge your presence, seemingly more focused on the book he's reading. You faked a cough. That seemed to catch its attention. However, he gives you a small glance right after, his nose still buried in his book. This seems to catch his attention. You're in my seat. Can I have it back? He stares at you for a moment, then closes his book, swerving his body to face you while placing an elbow on the mahogany table. His reddish orbs stare right back into your own. The confidence you had 5 minutes ago vanishes in thin air as his gaze sends shivers down your spine. The dark circles under his eyes adds to his intimidating look. He raised a brow before looking around, under the table on the seat, and even under his book before turning back to you. I don't see your name anywhere. You feel the veins on your forehead pop out. Oh, so he wants to be a smartass, huh? Should have put my name like I planned for jerks like him. You crossed your arms, not hiding your visible irritation, earning a low chuckle from the male who's seemingly amused at your frustration. So cute. Say, if you really want your seat back, you need to convince me to move first. Tell you what, how about a cup of coffee? If you could give me a cup, maybe I'll consider moving. You bit your inner cheek. Now he wants you to be his little servant. Who does this guy think he is? Turning your head to the nearby coffee stand right next to the exit, you observe some students enjoying their own coffee while reading and studying. Maybe you can grab his coffee and get this over with. Oh, this is funny. Okay, let's save again. Okay, I know that's day 2. Let's just save here. Force him to give up the seat. Do I look like your little maid? Just move and give me back my seat. Comes back in maid outfit. What the hell? You angrily voiced out, growing more and more impatient with the male before you. Is that Line? Hi, Line. However, he seems unbothered by your threats. His eyes half lidded in boredom before going back to reading his novel. Okay, this guy's getting on my nerves. If he doesn't want to leave, then I'm not letting him leave then. You huffed in annoyance and moved around behind him. Did not utter a single word and kept his nose on his light novel, though he couldn't deny the fact that he's a bit curious about what you're planning. What shocked him next was you pulling on the chair, causing him to gasp as he wobbled on his seat. Steadying himself, he was prepared to reprimand you for your actions, but you cut him off once more. What are you? By settling yourself on top of his lap. Ah, yes. This is the one that this is the one that was in the original thumbnail I have, by the way. That's funny. And it's gonna be back on the thumbnail, baby. Daniel, stop!
No.
Not in his face! By settling yourself on top of his lap. He swore to whatever god looking down on him right now to take him. The book in his hand is threatening to slip off as all of his senses shut down, save for his eyes that remain focused on your back. His heartbeat quickens, cursing under his breath, while you continue on with your work as if he wasn't there. Then you, oh sweet little you, slightly turn your head, giving a quick glance, your lips turned upward as if mocking him, teasing him. It's driving him insane. You, however, went along with your task, ignoring him as if he weren't there to save for your ass literally on top of his lap. He looks around him, noticing a few glances from passing students, some rolling their eyes and some moving away, finding a different seat. The guy's face went red. The surrounding students were definitely interpreting this the wrong way. He turns his gaze back to you, who remains unbothered, sitting on his lap and seemingly not noticing the weird glances. He eventually relaxes, though still a bit hesitant on placing his arm next to yours. With a free hand, he picks up the book he had and reads through its contents once more. Stop, don't make me do that anymore. A minute or two passed and you felt him sigh before closing his book. He seems to be having a hard time concentrating on his novel. Not your problem, though. Seldom we find, says Solomon Don Dunce. Ginger says she's gonna kick my ass. Don't reclaim another moan, goddammit. He reads out, making you arch an eyebrow whilst trying to ignore him still as you remain focused on your papers. Half an idea in the profoundest sonnet. Through all the flimsy things we see at once. Is he reading through your papers, more specifically on the poem you chose? As easily as through a Naples bonnet. An Enigma by Edgar Allan Poe, huh? Not a bad choice. Now this got your attention. I know you're a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe. He used to be your profile picture. In all honesty, you just grabbed whatever book that your hand thought felt heavy and went along with it. You were lucky enough that it was a singular book filled with stories and poems about this author named Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, just this author, not one of the most famous authors ever. You went through the book's table of contents and the title caught your attention. Maybe it will have the same effect to your ignorance of a teacher as it did to you. But it seems like this talking chair of yours is taking an interest in its first. Not bearing to ignore him any longer, you speak up. It's the first thing I could find that looks interesting. Nothing much, as long as I've got something to write for my reports. That's fair, but did you know that this poem is also a puzzle? This piqued your curiosity. A puzzle. He nods. Then, with a finger, he points at the first line of the poem, then on the second. Yes. Yeah, a puzzle. This is one of the few works of his that I find quite charming. Looking at where his finger is pointing, you try to look for the puzzle he's speaking of, but despite reading through the sonnet carefully, you couldn't seem to find the puzzle he was talking about. He must be fucking with you. Trying one last time, you scan the words. What's the answer? What? No way, bro. That was my only moan this stream. Excuse me, you moan too? Wait, okay. Never mind. I think the developer... Oh shit, did I not favorite it? Shit, I didn't favorite the itch page. Okay, give me a second. I believe the developer... Oh, whoops. Okay, one second. Had a guide. No. I believe the developer released a guide, for the game. Okay, okay. Oh, it doesn't... It said there was a guide, but it doesn't say the answer. Sarah Anna Lewis, but you can ask for a hint. Or give up. Wait, what? Excuse me, why did you type Sarah Anna Lewis? I've been on my best behavior, Junior, I swear. Yeah, they've been on their best behavior. They just asked for a couple of moans, a couple of...
No, I said I'd beat you up.
Oh, don't worry, chat. She's gonna beat me up. Do I type Sarah Anna Lewis? But you can ask for a hint. Or give up. Okay, well, let's go with Sarah... Oh, come on, man. For real? Okay. Okay, Sarah... Anna... Lewis. Let's just see what it says. You feel a pat on your head, making you tilt your neck to his direction as you try to face him. There on his face is a calm smile directed at you, as if saying, good job. I'm gonna tell you guys this now. I didn't even attempt to solve that myself. I'm kind of tired right now, so I'm close to falling asleep. I'm not gonna lie, because it's kind of late for me. This is my second stream today, so I'm kind of out of energy. But thank you for the answer, Cat Lily. You're a smart cookie. Based cat, as usual. This would have been my time to shine, considering I am an English major, and I actually did read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe in uni, but whatever. Smug smile made its way to your face, chin up and eyes closed. But of course, I give up. So what's the answer? Oh, never mind. We didn't get the right answer. Oh, wait. Did I spell it wrong? Wait. Did I spell it wrong? Did I spell it wrong? It's Sarah Anna Lewis. It's a name? Yep. Someone that the author had close relations to. Oh, it's just a glitch. I see. Well, you tried. That's what matters. Look back on your paper. On the poem specifically, a newfound sense of respect for the sonnet after knowing its hidden meaning. I was just about to say, he just said... just said that. Ruby! Lick. Hey, Ruby, what's up? Ruby Whiska, I hope you guys had a good stream. We're losing No Nut November right now. We're playing a visual novel called The Kid at the Back.
No.
It's a... Yep, okay, someone just lost. Another one bites the dust. Another No Nut November lost. But I hope you guys had a good stream. My name is MrClockWorks, or just Clock for short. I play a lot of visual novels, dating sims, and horror games on my channel. Currently, we're playing The Kid at the Back, which is a yandere visual novel with this guy, this emo, dog-colored boy.
No.
Anyways, I hope you guys had a good stream. What are you guys playing? Ruby already lost. No, don't worry. I lost on this game right here.
Losing at a rapid pace.
Oh my god, no, not the nuts, man. Not the nut redeem. Stop hitting the button, chat.
You have to moan.
He's awesome. I have to moan. There was a redeem for a moan. Don't leave, don't leave. No! Okay, no one redeem moan, please. Not when I'm being raided. Stop nutting. Stop being horny, motherfuckers. Behave yourselves, chat. Raiders, as you can see, bye. As you can see, Raiders, we're a little spicy on the channel. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. But thank you. We just hit a follower goal of 2,200. Thank you guys so much. Much appreciated. That's awesome. Big. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't moan. That didn't happen. Nobody nut on my stream, okay? That didn't happen. Don't worry, I know Ruby. Ruby's awesome. We love Ruby on this channel. I was actually planning on raiding her, but I guess she's done. What's the name of this game? It's called The Kid at the Back. It's a free visual novel on itch.io. No, Ruby, not you too! You're not supposed to nut! We are playing, and we're in a library, and we're sitting on his lap right now. You look back on your paper, on the poem specifically, a newfound sense of respect for the sonnet after knowing its hidden meaning. This just adds more to more content in your paper, and it'll maybe help get you an even higher grade for it. Maybe hitting the books isn't so bad. You lean back on the chair, nearly forgetting you're literally on someone's lap, causing you to accidentally press your back to his chest, making him jerk on the seat. Hey, yo! He jerking it on the seat while I'm sitting on his lap. This surprised you. You yelped and quickly stood up from the chair, turning to apologize to him.
No.
Stop nutting! His previous relaxed posture is now back to being stiff as a board. His face was bright red, resembling a tomato. Leaning forward on his seat, his chin rests on top of the table with a flustered expression on his face. I'm so sorry, I forgot I was sitting on you. Oh my god, I was sitting on him! This sudden realization hits you, and you quickly want to bury yourself in the ground. The student before you remains silent, his face still burning red and his eyes wide as plates. He shakily grabs his book and quickly stands up from the seat. Oh yeah, he nut. He nut in his pants, chat, for sure. Without sparing you any time nor breath, he walks out towards the exit with a bit of a limp on his steps. You feel like ripping your hair out. You did all of that embarrassing shit for some guy who refuses to give you your seat in the library. You could have gone to a different... No, don't fart, chat. Stop that. You could have gone to a different spot without having to do all of that. At least he's gone. At least we farted after he left. It would have been pretty embarrassing if we farted on his lap. Well, there's no point in dwelling into it any more than necessary. Returning to your papers, you stack them up along with your books you borrowed. Glancing at the poem one last time, you couldn't help the smile that made its way to your lips. At least he gave me some useful insight on my paper. I should thank him once I see him. Never got to know his name. You're so bad at interacting with people. Okay. Let's go back. Let's load up that interaction. Yes. Let's get him the coffee. See what happens when we get him a coffee. Alright, I'll go get your coffee then. So instead of sitting on his lap, we'll get him a coffee. Not sparing him a moment to respond, you turn on your heel and head towards the coffee stand. The barista, who turns out to be one of the few students who do part-time like you do, greets you and offers you their menu. You scanned its contents, you curse under your breath. Fuck! Forgot to ask him what he likes. Maybe something simple would do for now. Black coffee. Based. You look up at the barista, who is patiently waiting for you to take your order. Black. That's how I have it. Black, please. Going for a strong one, aren't ya? I like black too, especially if I want to stay awake during class. The barista just laughs, accepting your payment, then turns to make your order. Not long after, she called upon your name and you thanked her, grabbing the drink on the counter and making your way back to the student in black, careful not to spill the cup's contents. His position on the seat remains the same, a leg over the other, an arm resting on the table, but the other now holding onto the book he was previously reading. The smell of grinded beans invaded his senses. He closes his book and places it on the table before finally looking up at you and then on the cup of coffee. He says nothing as you place the warm beverage in front of him. He fixes his posture, then reaches out to grab the cup. He takes a whiff before taking a sip. Sniffa, sniffa. The guy looks down at the drink in his hand, seemingly staring at his reflection on the black liquid surface, before eventually blowing the steam off and taking a sip. He takes 2 to 3 more small sips before moving it aside. Why would he have a collar on that looks like it would explode if he left the... Oh, it's, he's really kinky. He's my dog. He barks for me. Trust me on that. He also likes to sniff me a lot, too. Sniffa, sniffa. I'll continue the rest later. Thank you for the coffee. Well, I gave you your coffee. Are you gonna move aside or not? The man just tuts at your impatient behavior. Taking his book, he stands up from his seat. Yes, I can have my sweet old chair back. Your thoughts are cut short when he takes a vacant chair and places it right next to your spot before sitting down and continuing on with his book. Your eye twitched. Motherfucker. Well, technically, you didn't say you want the whole table to yourself. Damn it. Taking the now vacant seat you so coveted, you went on to do your research, not minding the guy beside you, his presence and occasional glances towards you. Okay, I think this is just gonna end the same. Yeah, okay. Okay, wait, load up. So we got the coffee, we got the other thing. Go back. Go back, and the last thing we were missing was find somewhere else to sit. So we moved away, we talked to him, we took the seat beside him. Let's find somewhere else to sit. You don't want to deal with this stranger or anyone else at all in this very moment, even if you want your seat back. Looking around, you made up your mind to settle somewhere else, preferably far from the presence of others. I think this is where the fight starts. To your utter demise, the only vacant seat left was next to a table full of loudly gossiping students. I swear, out of all the places to do their idle and loud chatter, it had to be the library. You don't feel like doing your research paper anymore. Heading to the fiction section of the library, you examined each book's spine, running your fingers along them and hoping that one would attract your attention. However, not a single one caught your eye among the many books you've passed by. Instead, you've only gathered dust on your fingertips. You clicked your tongue and rubbed your fingers together, dusting them off. Thud. A sudden thud came from the opposite side of the shelf before you, causing it to wobble a bit, nearly knocking a few books down. Another thump, but this one is louder and stronger than the last. A few books toppled over next to you, and one nearly hit your head. Hey, watch it! You raised your voice. Silence. Then you hear a few shuffling noises beyond the shelf in front of you. You let out an irritated puff, taking the few books that fell to the ground. You proceeded to place them back to their original positions on the shelves. But as you were filling up the gaps, something, or rather someone, caught your attention. Through a small crack between the books, you spotted a male student with his hair dyed in red and spiked up hair, donned with a leather jacket and ripped jeans, his facial piercings enhancing his intimidating look. But behind him stood another guy dressed in a near similar fashion. The only difference is his hair black as the night with blue highlights, a white tank top instead of a leather jacket, and a dog tag dangling from his neck. What? Why is there like biker gang members in a fucking university? The two unfamiliar students sneered down on someone who you assume they pushed to the ground. So that's where the thudding sounds came from. Don't make too much noise there, Mr. Creep McGee. You don't want to get us in trouble, do you? Great, another bullying situation. You rolled your eyes in annoyance. These bullies never know when to stop, do they? Sometimes people never seem to grow out of their high school phase. The poor fellow remained sitting up on the ground, his back leaning against the bookshelf, trying desperately to hold his ground. Sally face, you better not be horny for the bully right now. Nah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see your dad. I don't want to hear your hear me out, okay? He mutters something under his breath. What was that? I couldn't quite hear you. Pull the pants down and run! No! The red-haired bully mock. I'm gonna beat the shit out of it. I'm gonna punch him in the face. Yeah, so be like Daniel, who's just lying under his sheets, exercising. I don't know what he's doing, but he's exercising under those sheets. That's a good boy. That's a good dumb cat boy. The red-haired bully mocked. His hand brushed up beside his ear as he leans closer to the man on the ground while his raven-haired companion laughs at his friend's antics. I said, fuck off. Ow! It wasn't even me! It was chat being horny! Tisk, why, you little... You cringed at the sound of flesh hitting flesh, causing you to pull back. You've got some real nerve coming here and showing your face, punk. No matter, you're nothing but fresh meat. Ugh, he looks fucking disgusting. I bet he's liking this. Why wouldn't he? After all, you asked for this, didn't you? Sick freak. This is getting bad. I should leave or else I'll be next. You gritted your teeth, eyes squinted. You don't want to look at this anymore. But before you could shove a book to cover up the remaining gap, something glistening caught your eye. Your blood ran cold at the weapon now within the fiery redhead's hand. Yo, how did you get that into campus? Shut up, who cares? It was a pocket knife. Let's see if you'll continue being a smartass once I cut your mouth.
What?
I've got to do something, but should I risk being caught in between all of that? We'll do a save, but yes, we should. We should be the good person, chat. We should be a good person. Stop them! I've got to stop them. Leaving the remaining books, you quickly rushed out from your aisle and went across where the bullies were. Stop! You let out a loud cry. From the cry of your voice, the bullies halt in their movement, their heads slowly turned towards you. Oh, there's a CG. Hey, there's a CG! Oh shit, they beat the fuck out of him. He's already bruising. Oh my god. He'd be by the way, not to ruin this moment, but you would not be bruised. If they just finished punching you in the face this many times, your face would be like a fucking... It would look like you got stung by a bee. Like, your fucking eye might be closed because of the fucking, the puffiness of your skin. It'd be... Everyone's like, wood, smash, hot, smash, wood. So damn bad. Your attention, however, was on the fallen male on the ground. His face battered and bruised as he struggles to keep his composure. Uncut smash! Based. Honestly, based. He looks up at you and your eyes meet with reddish-orange ones. As soon as he registered who you are, however, his expression turned from mild irritation to shock. He shuffles on the ground in a hurry as he tries to get up, but the raven-haired bully must have noticed this and kicked his stomach, causing him to double over and clench his abdomen. Tisk, what do you want, pipsqueak? Can't you see we're busy here? The tall red-haired bully clicks his tongue. You can see his veins bulging from his forehead in irritation from your interruption. Standing up, he walks to where you are, pocket knife still in his hand. Stop what you're doing right now! Oh yeah, and what are you going to do about it? If you heard him, I'll scream and alert everyone in the library. The redhead just let out a mocking laugh, unfazed by your threat. He looms over you, his attention now focused on you, leaving the other male on the ground. Stop! Don't go anywhere near him. You're here for me, right? Just leave him alone. Shut the fuck up. Ugh. The raven-haired landed one more kick in the student in green's stomach. Taking advantage of his weak state, the bully clad in blue steps on the boy on the ground's back. Stop that! Whoa, whoa, hold it right there, sweetheart. We're not done here. Don't call me sweetheart, that's weird. The bully in red before you suddenly wraps his arm around your lower back, then proceeds to bring his face closer to your own. I'm a twink at this point, aren't I? With his free hand, he forcefully grabs your chin and jerks your head towards his. You hissed from the force he inflicted on your jaw. Hiss. Hiss. Let me go, you bastard. You move your face away, his hot breath fanning your cheek as you try your best to pull away from him. The redhead scans your face, a growing sinister smirk forming his lips. Not gonna lie, you look kind of pretty. No wonder this freak has the hots for you. He turns around to give a quick glance at the person on the ground. He just chuckled at the dark glare given to him. I bet your little boyfriend wouldn't mind a taste. Before you could register what he just said, you felt a stinging sensation across your cheek, following something wet roll down your cheek. The sensation of the bully's tongue running across your cheek made you shiver in pure disgust. Oh, man, that's disgusting. You could feel tears slowly forming in the corner of your eyes. The redhead, however, does not share your sentiments. His eyes roll back in pure in ecstasy, a low moan escaping his mouth, making you want to throw up. Oh, yeah. Taking advantage of his blissful state, with all your might, you kicked him in between his legs. Fuck! Fucking bitch! You pushed him away with all your might and gave him one last kick on his back, causing him to fall and land on one of his bookshelves. Multiple books falling on him. A thick encyclopedia landed on his head, causing him to pass out. Looney Tunes, motherfucker! Take that, fucker! However, your little victory was short-lived as you felt an arm make its way around your throat, proceeding to block your windpipe. You're a naughty one, aren't ya? Why don't I teach you a lesson? Let go of me. You clawed the blue bully's arm around you, trying desperately for him to release you as you slowly lose air in your lungs. Your vision was slowly beginning to darken. I can't breathe. Someone help! Herc! The arm around your throat loosens. Your dizzy state caused you to lose your balance. You steadied your breathing while rubbing your throat, trying to ease the pain it went just through. The two bullies' bodies are now on the ground, all passed out, and all that's left are a pair of black shoes before you. Looking up, it was the same guy in green. The bruise on his face is still visible. He didn't say anything while handing out his hand. Accepting it, you let out a small thank you as he pulled you up back on your feet. Now that everything seems to settle down, you finally got to look at him closely. Nah, I don't have plot armor. I'm a good fighter. I beat that guy's dick off. I mean, wait a minute. That's not what I meant to say. I kicked his dick off.
What?
I didn't beat it off. No. I didn't beat it. Stop with the AOs. Stop! Fuck you, chat. Stop with the AOs! Okay. Man, I'm dead. I slipped up. Okay, I slipped up a little bit. He's actually pretty tall, probably around 6 feet tall. His hair deep green, nearing black with green streaks pulled in half. His red eyes dart around the area, then back on you, then back on a random corner. An awkward minute passed. We should probably get you to the nurse's office. I'm fine. There's no need. Meanwhile, you should get your cheek bandaged. He lifted his hand, seemingly trying to cup your cheek, but stopped himself midway, quickly tucking it behind his back and walking past you in a hurry. Your eyes trailed off after him as he quickly made it to what seems to be your usual spot. After fixing his things, then set off towards the exit, not bothering to glance back one last time. Oh. Barely making it to your next class, he slid... Okay, so this is the same. But I think they said there's something a little different. I never seemed to take note of his never seemed to take note of it as an understatement. You realize that there were a lot of unfamiliar faces in today's class. I'm guessing that they were either transferred to this class or just wanted to cut their original classes and would slack off in a different subject. Not that you cared anyway. You only have this class due to the fact it's required for some strange reason. School's curriculum is weird. While you're scanning around the room, however, you spot a familiar mob of black hair seated at the very end of the classroom. Then your eyes went wide. He's in the same class. He's like, aw, man. He's like, aw, man. He's like, ah, shit. You swore you met eyes for a split second. Isn't it the same guy back in the library? You thought seeing the bandage on his face where his bruise was kind of resembling yours. Yeah, he's so baby girl. Your gaze lingered on his form before the door to your classroom lets out a squeak, indicating your professor's arrival, making you leave your thoughts on the man at the back and redirect your focus to the front. I still have questions to ask him later. Okay, so teacher comes in. Okay, and then we end up becoming his partner. Okay. Soul means... Okay, wait, let me make sure. There's one more CG. There's one more CG, by the way. Okay. Okay. Okay, must not have any injuries. Okay, so we should be able to do this, I think? There should be one more CG. Okay, so this doesn't matter. So this, and then we skip. Oh, but I have this bandage on my face. Wouldn't that hinder the process? Your gaze lingered to the door. Get the blur ready. No. You recall the events that happened back at the library. I can simply ignore it, or make something better out of it. Trust the process. Seems like he already has an idea on what to do. Judging from that half-filled sketchbook of his, he's quite familiar with the concept of art. Me, however... Okay, wait, save? So there's a CG for both of these things, it says in the guide. So am not that good at art. First, let's do that. I'm not that confident in my art skills yet. Is that okay? I don't want you to do all the work. Everyone starts somewhere. As long as you help me while appreciate the concept of art, you'll do fine. Soul said, relaxing on his seat, taking out his sketch pad and pencil. You sit back and relax as well, tucking a loose strand and fixing your hair as if you're about to take a picture. Soul notices this, and you swear you saw the edges of his lips twitched upwards. Oh, there it is! Oh, it's an animation! Oh, that's really cute. What the hell? I did not expect that. Wow, okay, alright. I like that. That's new. That is new. The sound of pencil against paper filled the classroom. You on your seat as Soul looked up at you and back on the paper from time to time. He's an artist, chat. Whenever he gazes at you, you swear his eyes go half-lidded, as if in a dreamy daze. But you didn't think much about it. Thank you. What was that? Oh, he's so... He's so cute, what the fuck? He's actually so cute, dude. He's like, don't look. Oh my god, chat. Tell me you didn't fall for this guy. Come on. No homo. By the way, Soul stopped his strokes on the paper and finally locked gaze with you. His sketchpad covers half of his face as he speaks. Thank you, Clock, for helping me back in the library. Oh. It's not a problem. You were in quite a pickle and no one bothered to help you out. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't save you there. Well, you saved me the trouble today. And after that, Soul said nothing. His gaze remains on yours before continuing on. A small tint of pink appeared on the tip of his ears. Using a sketchpad, he tries to cover his burning face behind the object. He's got that lost puppy look in his eyes. Bro's got a puppy dog personality at this point. Small conversations were made then and there as he worked with the pencil whilst you were kept the air afloat. Sorry I wasn't able to make it in time. He started and Soul's eyes just widened at you before shaking his head. Don't worry about it. This type of thing is the usual for me. The usual for you. He sighed as if the thought alone is such a huge task on his hands while he continues on. Every bruise is worth it. Worth it. Soul then mumbled something under his breath, the grip of the pencil tightening in his grip before sighing and looking up at you. That was enough to calm him down and continue on with his sketch, leaving you dumbfounded. Before you knew it, class was over. Soul, however, is not done with his portrait of you as his pencil still makes a few final more touches on the sketchpad. Just a few more touches. There. Can I see? Oh, stretch check? Of course. Soul hands the sketches to you and you gasp. This looks so good. Details and everything. Ugh. I suggest you do a stretch check. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Do a little stretch, okay? It's healthy. If you can, stand up, stretch those legs out. Shake a booty. Do a jumping jack. Get your pee-pee flying. You know, let your tits breathe too. Why don't you? Excuse me. Who said that? Not me. This looks so good. The details and everything. He's not even done yet. Soul, this looks amazing. Ow! Why did you do that? Also, I'll take a hydrate, yeah. The last one was uncalled for. Just the Cat's like, yeah, booty cheeks, air 'em out. Dick, helicopter that shit. Titties? You've gone too far, MrClockWorks. You've gone too far. Daniel knows what I'm talking about. Dumb cat boy, naked, stretching it out. Something tells me you'd like the KFC dating sim. No, I'm at the last part. I know what you are, Cat Lily. I know what you are. Soul, this looks amazing. How the fuck did you do this? By your compliment, he just rubbed the back of his neck and shrugged a little, a bit embarrassed at your compliment. I'd love to sketch once in a while. I'd often draw random people in parks when I go out. You couldn't help but admire him and his work. Although, I'd like to revise this if given more time. Can I keep this? I mean, right after our professor grades it, of course. Soul places a hand under his chin, thinking about it. Not sure. I think I could do better than that one. But I really like this one. He just chuckled. Alright, you can have it once I'm done and our professors grade it. But in return, I get to keep the portrait you'll make of me, alright? I think that's a fair deal. Soul agreed and you cheered. Gave back his sketch pen and fixed up your things. Soul packed up as well as you both headed out towards the hallway. Okay, I'm gonna save here, because I actually like this save. But we're gonna load up. And I'm gonna say, I think they said there's another CG. So I said I'm not good at art. This time I'll say pretty great at art. Would you like me to draw you first? I mean, I don't mind. I'm quite confident in my skill of art. You said with a smile on your face. Soul thought for a bit. The offer was quite tempting, but then he remembers the bandage on his face. He shook his head as he took out his own sketch pad and his pencil. No, it's alright. I'd rather draw you for now. You sure? Yes. Why so? Because you're prettier. Sorry. I mean, I look like crap. And you really... Wait, what was that? Oh, you sons of bitches. I heard him say it. He's like, you look gorgeous. You look gorgeous, darling. Whoa, slow down. What were you saying? That I'm pretty? That was him. He moaned. There was an ah. Look. I didn't see. Soul. See? Not me. Okay. Yes. Can I just draw you? I just don't like how I look with this bandage on my face, that's all. God, I feel like I'm about to explode. You just gave a small chuckle before letting him do the honors and draw you instead. Excuse me, sir? He sat up straight and fixed your hair as Soul started on his sketch, a red tint covering his cheeks up to his ears as he tried his best to hide his blushing face behind his sketch pad. Okay, it's the same. I think that's the same, right? It said there was like a different one, but I don't really see the difference, so I'm gonna try hitting skip. Okay, never mind, it didn't let me hit skip. Okay, it did. Bite the bottom of your lip and recall the events of today. Meaning Soul. Okay, so it didn't really make a difference. There was nothing different. If there was, the skip button wouldn't let me skip. And I can skip again. Take his hand. I guess I'll try to get saved for day one. So take his hand, because I don't want to take his arm. Skip. I don't. Sure, that's fine. Skip. We're just gonna give bro a big hug. We already did this. I'm sorry if you're new and you missed this. We already did this earlier, okay? YouTube VOD will be going up probably tomorrow, honestly. We're gonna skip. We just hug bro. Yeah, we get invited to the party. Okay. Wait. Okay, and that's the end of the night. That's the end of the day. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me, the one who loves. I was a child, she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. Okay, and so this is day 2, the kingdom. I need day 2 desperately. I'm sorry, it is 12:20 a.m. for me right now, so I'm gonna save. So this is Soul's route. We gotta remember this is Soul's route, and this is Crowe's route that the saves are on, okay? I would argue this is Soul's route. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll do that. Okay? Sorry, chat. Yeah, it's 12:20 for me, so I gotta head to first I'm gonna edit this. This is also already like 2 hours and 45 minutes. This is so much content. Yeah, I'm really happy with Crowe's content that he got. This is so much new content that I think it deserves 2 videos instead of like a 5-hour long VOD of all the new CGs and stuff. So I'll do a version 2.3 day 1 video, and then tomorrow we'll play again and we'll do day 2, okay? Tomorrow night, okay? Thank you for the hydrate. Everybody, please, take a sip of water. It's 12:20 a.m. You probably need some water. Stay hydrated and healthy. Okay, yeah, so for now, that's what we're gonna do. Yes. So for now, that's what we're gonna do. Tomorrow, we'll be back. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. EST. We'll play day 2 of the update and check out all the new CGs, okay? Respect the creator for not wanting an NSFW streamed, of course, but I missed the jump scare waiting room. That is... I mean, we can watch the clip. I still have it. I never got rid of the original because I posted it before they... Because originally... By the way, I did play it, the NSFW version originally. And, they originally didn't have that rule, by the way. They didn't have that rule originally when the game was first released. They did that way later on. Like, I think it was like 3 weeks later or something. Like a month or something. Like, it was something like way later. And, like, everyone had already made their videos and stuff on YouTube. So, like, that's what happened. This is pretty funny, not gonna lie. Have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna spend some time editing. But, yeah, it's great. I think it's really funny. It's cute. I do wish they kind of let you have the NSFW version, because then I could just mark the stream as 18+, but it's fine. Like, I get it, because also the 18+ version is now paid for. Because I think what really happened was that two things. One, I know the creator doesn't want minors playing the game at all, period. But also, the game kind of popped the hell off, and they wanted to make money. And reasonably, they started charging for the NSFW version. I think that's the best way to do it, because everyone can still play the free version. And all they asked for the NSFW version was that people didn't stream it. So I think that's very reasonable. I actually own the NSFW version. I could play it if I want to. On the Discord, at least. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll hop into Discord and play the NSFW scenes. Who knows? There was new NSFW scenes apparently now. But anyways, but I think it's pretty reasonable of the creator. So don't, like, if you enjoy this, buy the game. It's only $5, I think, American. So that's like barely anything. $5 American, right? And I believe they're just a student one-man team for this game, so they could definitely use the help. I'll leave a link in the description of the YouTube video to the page, to the itch page, so you can buy it or at least download it yourself if you're too impatient to wait till tomorrow for the next video of day 2. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. My name's Clock, and please clock that like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and if you enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy my other videos. We play lots of visual novels, dating sims, a lot of yandere games just like this, and horror games in general on the channel. And if I made you laugh once, I'm gonna do it again. So, join the channel, seriously. Actually, I'm gonna disappoint you greatly, but whatever. Anyways, clocking out. See you next time. Bye, everybody.